Hello, I am the Ronin Ball, and welcome to twitch.tv/Ronin Ball live stream on twitch.tv/Ronin Ball. That's right, people. Oh Christ, the audio. Mic bad. Is our mic bad? Hang on. Does that help? Mic R look good on my side in terms of waves and stuff. Audio skip, says Jermaine. Robo Ronin. Did I fix her? Did I fix her now? Sorry. You know, it's just my computer being my computer. Welcome to twitch.tv/RoninBall live stream on the twitch.tv/RoninBalls. Thank you, Cracketer, and Noah, and Dramacian, and Pony for all coming out to the big show. So, man, how you guys been feeling? I asked because I don't care. I want to talk about me. So the past 2 days, God, I had some really bad ME days. I really want to say the other version of that, but we're trying not to. Some really bad myalgic encephalomyelitis days, 2 in a row that were just like, stay in bed, don't do nothing, just turn on live stream and just melt into sofa kind of days. I managed to get a couple of things done, but not a lot. Not a lot, not what I'm used to, like, being able to get done. I guess it was backing up on me and it just had to be. You know, looking back, I have had a great, like, past 3 months in terms of energy and strength. I mean, you know, 1/3 of what any of you would have, not having a genetic disability such as mine. But, you know, 1/3. Rocking for me. No, I've had a very good past 3 months considering all the things that I've been doing, running around and releasing short films and the live streams and tracking down, doing some video analysis and things like that. High energy, lots going on, lots of activity, and I managed to stay with it and not have any, oh look, I'm on a vampire sleep schedule and I don't have the strength to get out of bed and everything hurts kind of days for a good long time. So it was a coming, and it was due, and I got it, and, you know, 2 days ain't bad either. I really shouldn't be able to complain, and yet here I am doing it. Rant time, says Dramacian. We'll get into the rant in a bit. Hello, Wolfie. Nice to see you there, and Amatar Vind. Did some melting myself, says Pony. It's always good to melt into a couch, you know. Just occasionally you want to have yourself a nice decompression day. Like, every other really would be best. Just like let everything drop, don't worry about it, whatever it is that stresses you out, just it'll hold till tomorrow, I can worry about it, you know, if I die today, who would really care? Just, you know, focus on that, because that's good and positive. Let the world carry on without you for a bit and just, you know, Netflix and chill. And if you don't have Netflix, because I stopped, and I'm thinking about getting it back, but I stopped paying those people, then, you know, pop out of Twitch, watch some live streaming of some speed running. For example, at the Midwest Speed Fest, which is going on right now. Big marathon that I'm currently competing with, I believe, unless they've gone off of the, I don't know how long it was supposed to go. I figure through till the end of tonight. One of them, they're 24-hour marathons in the style of a GDQ, but much smaller and much more, you know, grassroots and real. You know, because you got mostly speedrunners. It's the kind of thing. It's like playing in a baseball league, just a local baseball league. Most of the audience is the other players, or it's like presenting a short film. Most of the audience is going to be the people who participated in making the short film. That actually wasn't true for us. We had 55 people to turn out to our short film release, but you know, it's that kind of thing. So it feels smaller, it feels a little bit more grassroots, it feels sloppier in the execution and that kind of stuff, which actually has a bit of a charm to it. So I was enjoying a bit of the Midwest Speed Fest while I was just trying to get through some bad days, and some shit happened. And we'll talk about that. Compared to you getting into arguments with Amazon and Comcast, this is rather tame, this is a guy called Jim. Let me tell you about Comcast and Verizon and AT&T and their overthrow of the Federal Communications Commission. And it's not in the hands of the people anymore because they took votes for 10 years. 10 years they were taking votes over and over again. Do you guys want us to deregulate the internet? And every single time people came out and said, no, we don't. Quit asking. And the next year, do you want us to deregulate the internet? Stop asking. It's like 80%. High 80s. No, it hasn't changed in the past 6 months. Stop asking. And then finally they asked the final time again. They said no. And then boom. Okay, we're going to deregulate the internet anyway. Just conveniently, after Verizon's Ajit Pai happened to be appointed to the chairman of the FCC. But now it's okay. It's still the people's government. You want to rant? We can rant. I know how to rant. Wolfie got a 121 time on dessert on the desert levels, and you're just crazy, man. Why do you even do that to yourself? Alright, everybody shut up. We're gonna play some Clustertruck here before we get into controversy and talking about how, you know, professional gaming needs to learn how to deal with controversy because they haven't figured it out. We've got a potential, it's not a new skip here. And I did it last time on last live stream where we managed to take the second fastest, put in the second rank here in World 9 ever. Second fastest in the world through 9 with the, right here, baby. While we were doing that, before we got deep into that, I played with a method that Snakeathon developed quite a while ago. Yeah, wait, did I go too far forward? For a potential, like, skip of all of this. So it's set up here, go over the side, into the side of him, and then you want to come down onto his wrist. It's very difficult. But what we found out was that on my first, okay, you gotta go faster. On my first go of this, when I, you know, cleared it, when I did it the, you know, intended way, almost, was that it took me 25 seconds to get through a level that routinely, where are you? What are you doing? Routinely, I looked at my splits for the full game, I averaged like 41 seconds clear on this. And look at that. How many attempts was that? Like legitimately 5 or 6? And boom, I already got like the jump that I needed. I mean, not the full jump, but I managed to get, you know, more or less the jump that we're looking for there. The deal here is that if it takes me on average 40 seconds, and if like a good clear of 9-10 takes 36 seconds or so, I mean, you can do it faster, but like a good and safe clear takes 36 seconds, and this method can safely be put in 25 seconds. That means that if this method could be made to be about 50%, like, you know, if it was a coin toss, whether or not you were going to get it, if you could get it down to that, don't do that. If you could get it down to that, then that would make it worth going for it. And honestly, if you could get it down to, yeah, there we go. Nope, that ain't gonna work. If you could get it down to like 1 in 3 shot, if you get so good at this method that 1 in 3 times it came in for you, then I would think that it's worth going for it. Because you're gonna lose, like, here's the thing. Nope, get to the front trucks. You're not paying attention because you're trying to talk about it and commentate it. But if... here... Damn, I landed it too. Hello Zorglob, thank you for the bits. If you could do that, 1 in 3 chance, it takes about 11 seconds to find out, at the longest, it takes about 11 seconds to find out whether or not you nailed it. So, if you get to those 11 seconds and you didn't nail it, you reset immediately, start the level again, and you get it on the second go, you lost no time over the conventional method. If you have to reset again and you get it on the third go, you lost, you know, around 10 seconds on the method. But if it could be 1 in 3, wouldn't that make it worth going for? You know, you lose 10 seconds, sure, but if you nail it the first time, you save like 15, 16 seconds, at least me as a player, if I'm averaging a 41-second clear on World 9-10 in my full runs because I'm trying to be safe and not screw up a 89 levels worth of work that I've just put in. It could be a major thing for us if we could get this skip. After a couple hours trying, I got it down to 1 in 6 or something, but I wouldn't call that consistent at all. Yeah, and that's, if you got it down to like 1 in 6, that's already, you know, that shows a lot of promise for this. I mean, there are things in this game that when we first started trying them, okay, this could work. Yes, it did. Now I just have to actually get up to the top and put it in. Yeah, damn it. 23 seconds there. I was kind of rushing it. But, yeah, if you can get it down, like, there are things that we started out in this game that were like, oh, you'd never be run viable on that just by practice and a little bit of tweaks and stuff and just getting better at them, they became run viable. If you can get it down to 1 in 6 after a couple hours worth of practice, if that can be halved and it's 1 in 3, I think it's worth it. Because you're not losing time on the first death over the conventional method. I mean, once you commit to doing this method, you gotta stick with this method. You can't try it once and then go to the conventional, or else you've just lost that time. But if you can do it once, fail it, do it a second time and put it in, you didn't lose any time, do it a third time, you've only lost 10 seconds, which isn't that big of a time loss considering what you might save and what you might do for like world records and new PBs and stuff. 1 in 12 actually hitting the buttons. I believe it. Because there's that time pressure that it isn't worth it if you don't do it immediately. Yeah, if you don't do it quick, then it's not... I mean, it's still worth it for me, anyway, because my 9-10 is so slow. Like, has been anyway. We worked out some new strats, or rather the same old strats that everybody else has been using, but I got on board for them. Not enough. Not enough. So the problem there is, the subtlety of this is that you kind of got to get on that truck really quickly and start rubbing it in order to make this work. You got to be on that wrist and hanging out on it for a minute to get it to go, which requires the right jump at just the right time, and the jump is actually a non-mega jump kind of. You know, Snake described it to me as it's kind of a failed mega jump, because you want to come in low and you want to slap into it early. At least that's what I've found, is you want to come in low, you want to slap into it early, so that you can get the right timing to be rubbing it and force that to happen. And then get up to the top, line it up. That looks lined up. There you go. 25:14, and that is a clear of the level. I'm going to reset it because we don't want to watch it, but 25 seconds, if that's going to be the average time on a clear of that, for like me, with the slow setup and being careful, shoot. That's over 41 seconds. 25 is 14, 16? What is it? 25 and 16-second time save. That's huge. That's huge. I can afford to miss it once and still put it in and save time. I think this might be run viable in the future, is what I'm getting at. And I think that we should all, you know, Wolfie, you know, we should all be working on this. We should all be looking into this and seeing if we can't get it to where it really is, you know, run viable, because this is going to be a huge thing for Clustertruck if this is, and it's just awesome to have a skip like this too. There you go. Ah, I didn't get the jump. I didn't get the jump. I did it perfectly, but I didn't get the jump. So it's looking like, you know, from that, it felt like the problem with that one, that the problem with that one was that the way that it was bouncing me off of the side of that truck as I was connecting with him, I got like the wrong bounce at the wrong time kind of deal. Ooh, I can feel it. Oh my god, I was able to feel it that time, like what happens there. When the arm pulls away, you just get an extra like sweep of energy. An extra sweep of, you know, jump boost. Oh god, don't do that. I jumped straight into his wrist there. But yeah, I'm not going to spend all day playing with this. I just wanted to look at it briefly at the beginning. Because it is like a major, you know, skip that has been on the books. I remember seeing Snakeathon, you know, having done this in the past long ago, back when I was a member of the Clustertruck Discord server before, you know, I self-ostracized you know, from the community because it was so toxic because I caught a cheater, and so I'm the one who should, you know, who should be treated as an asshole because I'm not the one who was lying to everyone, right? But yeah, back when I was there, I remember coming across this at some point, seeing Snake do this thing, and now that I understand the method a bit more and where to set up exactly in order to put it in, it's looking like the kind of thing that you could nail down. I mean, you see how hard it is, but sooner or later we're gonna need time that we can't get any other way in order to drive this down, and this is probably gonna be the thing. This is gonna be the method, especially for someone like Noah, who's been working on a World 9 world record run, just routing and training and practicing to beat Trixie's time and get like the fastest possible clears on all the levels in a row. This is a huge thing. I mean, boom, there we go. I'm up. Set her up. Don't like it, but I'm gonna run for it anyway. Yeah. So yeah, that's the skip, and it can be done. It's, you know, just sitting here tinkering with it for 12 minutes or so that we were tinkering with it. I managed to like get up there 3 or 4 times. I think we all need to start putting some time in there and seeing if we can't make it that much more consistent. Just get used to it. Ronan Pond, the arm comes down where you are, right? Could you try hover jumping off the side of a truck? How do you mean that's different than what I was doing there? Because yeah, the arm definitely sort of follows. I'm not sure. I feel like maybe it has different snapping points depending on how far you are into the level. Maybe it just follows you and drops wherever you happen to be. But I feel like it might have like different snapping points where it, you know, comes down. Not sure of that. But this one works real good. I mean, that's the thing is I remember trying this sometime after I'd seen it from Snakeathon, and not like my biggest problem was trying to figure out where should I put this in? How do I do it? Where do I start the jump from? And Snake has done the hard work and found like an optimal position for us to do it, where, you know, 1 in every 12 or so attempts, you get a chance. So like it's working for that method. By the way, before you try, I tried landing on the trucks on his arm, but it doesn't really work. Ah, yeah, like trying to land on the ones that are further out. Does the arm not disappear? Or, because I remember playing with that too, you know, long ago. And I felt like maybe his arm doesn't do the whole glitching out, disappearing thing, and then it just pulls away from you and goes to like the other place and doesn't work out. But yeah, that's an amazing glitch. That would be a really cool addition to the Clustertruck no ability percent speed run, because they don't need that in any percent. But no ability, Snake actually said that he's going to try and put that into his no utility percent run, which is a run where you can use the skills, you can enable some of the abilities, but only on the one half, because no utilities. So some of the skills fall in as utilities and others as something else. I don't understand. I don't know. I'm not an any percent runner. I don't usually look at the abilities menu. Actually, now that we're thinking about that, what we need to do right now is set up the cheater detection method, which is what? We go to its abilities, turn on the grappling hook, pop into the game. Why did I do that? Stare at something we can grapple to, then pause out, go back to the main menu, onto the abilities, turn it back off. Boom, boom, boom. And then when we come back in, we've got the infinite rotating grappling glitch. So we're good to run. The arm moves away, hugging the truck on the wrist makes it glitch out. Yeah, that sounds familiar too. I think that that's something we should all be like working on, or, you know, just here and there, putting in a little bit of time and, you know, trying to figure out, is there, you know, I think it's going to come down to sense of smell, to literally just being so good. That you're like, okay, yeah, it falls there, I'm here, I can see that the arm's going to be at that angle, so I'm going to move a little bit to the right and then come in and just kind of nuzzle and rub your face into it, and then pop up. I don't think it's going to be a thing where it's like there's more specific methodology to it that can really be translated. I think it's going to come down to muscle memory and just skill, but I think we can get that down to a, you know, even if it's 1 in 4 chance, if you could just about guarantee that on the 4th hit you'll hit it, shoot, man, we got to start doing it, because if you can guarantee it's 1 in 4, then that means every time you're flipping, you know, you're rolling a 4-sided die, sooner or later you're going to come out on, you know, a 4 and have maximum crit and not hit yourself. And then boom, you just saved, you know, 15 seconds over the conventional route. That's huge. That's an entire level. That's a whole death negated by one strategy, one weird route at the end of the game. That's brilliant. Sense of smell. I play by sense of smell. A 4-sided die does not guarantee you hit it every 1 in 4 times, though. That's okay, fair enough. But you know what I'm saying. You got a 1 in 4 chance. Even that would be kind of worth going for it. I think we can get there on that method. You know, at least right now. I'll discourage myself by trying it more later, probably. But for now, we're going to get into the actual speed run of the game. Full runs now, people. We spent all of the last live stream, which was like a 6-hour-ish long live stream, running World 9, running and routing World 9 to try and see if I couldn't get better at those levels, because really the weakest part of my splits, the weakest part of my run, and kind of everyone's run, ooh, that would have been good if it came in, is World 9, just because World 9 is friggin' vicious, man. It's awful. It hates you. It's got so much RNG. RNG on the heels of RNG on the heels of RNG. It's nasty, is what it is. So we spent some time looking at and routing World 9, managed to come in with the second fastest clear of the world that's ever been put in, got a new PB. I need to upload that video to YouTube. I've edited it down. But if you missed it, it is in the clips here on Twitch, or the highlights rather, under the videos tab on twitch.tv/RodenPulling. You'll find the run. Okay, that's how I always intend to do it. You shut up. Shut up. But yeah, so we're hoping that if I can get through some of the run, then we'll come into World 9, we won't die as much, and we'll come out with HTDN's time is what I'm going for now. Damn it, again. Again on that lifting up truck on the right side. Which is to take our current PB, as a matter of fact, let's just check it. PB 25296, we need to update that. Noah, you're still here, right? Update the PB. My PB is on screen now. It's 24:53:41. What we need to do is take off some amount of seconds to get down to 24:28, because HTDN's is a 24:29, and I guess it's all zeros on that. But, yeah, so that's what we're going for now. Drive, take another death, basically 1.5 deaths off of my run, and we'll take HDN slot, I'll take 4th, and then we'll just keep going toward world record until we're there. Alright, so, my favorite game says It's Me Destroy. What is? Surely not this. I'm rather fond of it myself, if you hadn't noticed. Hey there, everyone. What's up? On 9-hour stream, please. Thank you for the 100 bits insights. No. Probably not a good idea. I'm recovering from bad myalgic encephalomyelitis days. I don't know, I woke up feeling good, so there's no real recovery involved, but thank you for the cheer. So what I wanted to talk about today was censorship, controversy, how competitive gaming has just routinely failed at dealing with the existence of things that are not, you know, advertiser friendly by YouTube standards, that are not happy, shiny, oh, everything's always sunshine and lollipops and rainbows everywhere. I wanted to talk about how, despite the fact that this is a sport, and that sports have been dealing with controversy for a very long time, and that they've all learned a bunch of lessons, those lessons have not been communicated to competitive gaming for some reason, apparently. Well, I mean, it makes sense. Most gamers, you know, I'm not gonna say, yeah, most gamers tend to be the anti-jock crowd, and so, you know, bases ball? Who's bases ball? Who's bases and why do they have a ball? They're not sports ball players, so maybe that has to do with it. I'm just joking there, but you know, like the NFL has been wrought with gobs and gobs of controversy over the years, and they've handled it rather poorly for a very long time, and then they figured some stuff out and started not being stupid about it. Ooh, hey, that's a way to use that scenario. And what they figured out, thank you for the sub, whomever that is, I will look over just as soon as I can, but you know, what they figured out is that you can't, like, pretend it doesn't exist. That's really sort of the general rule of actually just kind of reality. Hang on, we got a maybe really great, no, damn it. Really great climb, it's an 11.6, and a bad next level click, whatever. You know, the biggest problems in sport emerge when, fuck it. And it was Snowman Olaf, subscribed for 11 months. Pod, I enjoy the parasocial relationship with you. So you saw the Tom Scott video, did you? Thank you for the sub, Snowman Olaf. You can't just pretend like it doesn't exist, because what happens there is you are now being complicit in it. You know, like, in the bases and the balls, in bases ball, Mark Mcgwire was a huge, you know, star, here on the Tigers, right? It was the Detroit Tigers, Mark Mcgwire, wasn't it? Mark Mcgwire, huge friggin' star, just blasting him over the fence every friggin' game. My God, look at the biceps on him. He just cranks him, he rips him. And then eventually, you know, he owned up, it came out and he owned up to the fact that, yeah, I've been using steroids. Which is like, yeah, really? Is that why you're, you know, doing things that other human beings in your sport who've been training exactly as long as you have cannot do with the oh, really? Huh. Who would have suspected ever, Mark? But yeah, he came out and he acknowledged I did steroids. And, you know, here's the thing. First off, before we get into, like, how you handle that if you're an organization such as the MLB, who makes the sport into entertainment for people to watch at home. Yeah, before we get into that, let's just talk about the implications of doping in sports, because, you know, sports, they're not just professional. You have professional leagues, but that doesn't mean that everyone who plays the sports are professional. Lots of people have, you know, aspirations of being professional, of being at that level, of being able to play in the big leagues in whatever their sport is. So when you get people who are, you know, the big stars and the public folks who are doping in order to be able to do what they do, who are cheating the game, what you end up with is a culture where it is clear to everyone who does have that dream of wanting to someday be Mark Mcgwire, that's what you need to do. Like, when you raise the level of competition to the bar where it's okay to dope, where it's okay to cheat, that means that everyone has to dope, everyone has to cheat. So basically, in order to be competitive in this sport now, you have to, you know, become addicted to substances. You have to dope your body with things that shrivel up your testicles usually and cause a whole bunch of other problems that then you have to take other drugs to try and deal with. And, you know, it's not just about, oh, but you're sending the wrong impression to the children, oh, what will the children think kind of thing. No, it's what will the other people in the sport have to do just to compete on quote unquote, your level, because your level is the drugs. And it means that in order to compete, they'll have to also take the drugs that you're taking. So, you know, you gonna recommend that, doctor? Doctor, I've decided to, you know, to dope in my sport. It's not just that it undermines, like, the fairness. Oh, I'm just gonna go for it. Yeah! The fairness of the game, that some people do it and some people don't. It's the, oh shit, I did this completely wrong. It's also that it changes the sport fundamentally. What you have to do to participate in the sport, like how far you have to be willing to go. It's not just a game anymore that's about your skill and your talent and how many hours you've put in at the gym and in training and everything else. Now it's also about whether or not you can successfully dope without being caught as well as the next guy. You know? It's fucked up is what I'm saying. I'm not happy with this, but you know what? I'm used to our old PBs, and I've just looked over, or our old splits. I've just looked over and seen that we're only now coming off of green time. Only on this attempted clear did we go off of green time, so yeah, fuck it. We'll keep running on it. 18 seconds. We've got much more, you know, friendly splits. So there's, you know, it's not just the, oh, but what does that mean for the kids kind of argument? No, it means that everyone who wants to try and play in the league and compete with you has to be doing that too, and especially when you've got rules against it, that means that, like, you have to break the rules. And it comes down to, it's just fucking ridiculous. The whole thing becomes ridiculous. So, you know, bear that in mind when you decide to cheat at a sport. You're changing the sport. You're changing what other people are going to have to expect of themselves and be able to draw out of themselves, and maybe what you end up with is basically setting together a culture of cheating, where it has to, the only way you're gonna compete here is if you cheat. You gotta lie and deceive and, hang on. Come on! Are you kidding me? No? Alright, we're gonna reset this run, but I just wanna get this in. What the hell? Like, every time I come to this, it's a little bit different. Like, I was doing it in, you know, on our PB, and I'm like, oh, that's where I need to hit it. But where it was showing me I needed to hit it, it was too far to the right of where I usually go, and I'm like, do I really need to change that? And then I just tried to change that. No, I don't need to change that. It's not that far to the right. I hate that fucking level. It seems to jump around on you. We got some golds in there? Holy shit, we got some golds. Unless things were off. I don't think they were off. 3-5? 3-5? Yeah. Okay. First try every time. It's no cry, yeah. Let's see. Tom Scott did a good job on that video, says Snowman Olaf. Indeed. Forever Lewd. I do mind because you're advertising in another channel. What am I doing? Am I accidentally restreaming? I'm not restreaming to, like, Harvin Pawn, am I? Latra is streaming? What's going? It's not me, right? I'm not doing anything wrong? I'm not doping, am I? I didn't inject anything accidentally, right? I'm okay? I can't make sense of that conversation right there. Heyo, Forever Lewd, how you doing? Not me, it's my boy. Oh wait, not me, okay, good. It's my boy, hello, Terrorchula. Terrorchula. I see you, my boy Pawn. Alright. But yeah, so the NFL is a big offender in, Major League Sports of, like, having controversial issues, of having things where players are beating their wives, as, like, characters, personas who are part of the sport are then going off and doing horrible, awful, nasty things, and then, like, the NFL wants to cover that shit up, doesn't want to talk about it, doesn't want to, ask the questions of how does this affect the sport, how do people feel about, knowing that this person was also, beating up women in their off time, talking about the rage. The NFL has also had just issues about the safety of the sport. Obviously, American football is vicious. I mean, the whole goal of the thing is to slam your face into the other guy's face as hard as you can and stop him. And not wanting to have conversations about changing the rules and about the number of concussions that occur, not just in a professional season, but that occur in frickin' pee-wee sports, that occur in high school games and college games. That there are kids out there who, because of the standard that's set of how hard you hit and the way that you hit and what you need to do to get the other person down and everything, that they become like what the sport is outside of just this big professional game where people have signed contracts that are like, yeah, if I break my neck, I won't hold you accountable because, I've decided that this is my life, apparently. That the only way that I'll be happy as an athlete is to be working for people who want me to break my neck, potentially, to hit the other player that hard and to be so vicious and awful, but for the sake of entertainment, so it's all cool. So the NFL has, tons of controversies inside of it about the safety, about how long it's just, decided conveniently not to talk about what it knows in terms of statistics of how many players get injured and the ways that it ruins their lives, and the number of people who come into the sport out of college with dreams of being an NFL player and then play for a season, get massively injured, and then that's it for them, and they can't play in the sport anymore, and that was their, main way of making money, and there's a lot of things the NFL has dealt with over the years in terms of controversies, and they're really bad at it, and I would say that recently they started to get a little bit better. They showed signs of hope. Now, I don't really follow any sports. I don't really follow anything that happens off of this live stream. And I can barely be bothered to look at chat, so I don't follow things, as a general rule. But I am aware that, the NFL has started to, talk about these things and started to address these issues and at least be open about the fact that there are problems, that there are issues, and that is kind of step number one and the final step as well, as far as I'm concerned. When you're talking about, controversy in professional sports, of which speedrunning and, competitive gaming absolutely are professional sports. Yeah, shoot. Is there anybody gonna make it through here, get back on their feet and go to goal? Looks like you are. I can't really wait for you though, considering how much time we've lost, so we're dead. The first and last step is just not to pretend that it doesn't exist, because if you pretend that it doesn't exist, then you foster a community and an attitude where it's okay, where it's just the way things are. There's just cheating in speedrunning, there's just misogyny, racism, homophobia, transphobia in competitive gaming, It's just the way it is. What are we gonna do about it? We can't. We're just trying to put on a show here, It's the same line with the NFL and all, professional sport agencies that have been sucking off of actual athletes for so many years in order to make money. Have always had. Listen, we're just trying to put on a show here. This is supposed to be fun, entertainment. This is for, we don't want to make it all heavy and nasty and dirty and stuff. And when you get that argument, first off, it tells you something about the people who are organizing these, these public events around the sport. And that's that they don't actually give a shit about the sport, do they? They're just looking at it and saying, oh, well, here's an opportunity to make money off of other people doing things that are incredible that people like to watch because it's impressive. So let's do whatever we have to, sometimes pay, sometimes bribe, sometimes just make them feel special in order to get them on our show. and then just try desperately not to actually talk about any of the, you know, difficult things that might come up in the sport, like injuries and, you know, people losing their career, and cheating and doping and things like that, because we're just trying to put on a show. Right. Well, might I recommend that if you're just trying to put on a show, you know, open up a burlesque, like, bar or something like that, because if you want to be involved in a sport, if you want to make a show out of the sport, that's going to require you to actually give a toss about the sport, about the state of it, about how many people, about the people who play it, about the people, you know, their well-being, about the people who watch it and consider it part of their lives and part of their, like, culture and community and stuff like that. You actually have to give a piss about it. And I know you're not used to that, corporate America. Just corporate world, rather. But, you know, that's kind of how it is. And what is amazing to me is that we can see the same mistakes. I mean, it's not amazing to me that we can see the same mistakes being made in competitive gaming, in speedrunning, by those who are... by those who are turning it into, you know, a marketable, like, here's something you can watch. It's not surprising to me that you see the same mistakes being made, but it is. You know, it's surprising to me that the people actually who are, like, small and on the ground and grassroots and, you know, who don't have a big following are following, like, the same rules of corporate let's just not talk about it mentality when it comes to their content and things like that. Damn it! They just didn't give me any truck whatsoever. We're gonna have to reset this one. We are too red. Too red. Oh! Oh, but I made it all the way out that time. And I can do that to get it in. Maybe we'll stay on this one for a bit longer before we reset. And so now we come to the rant. Well, I mean, it's not gonna be a rant because it's not that big of a deal. It's disheartening, discouraging, it sucks. But I started out this live stream and I sort of pitched Midwest Speed Fest is going on right now. A small GDQ-like marathon where you've got speedrunners running, you know, a variety of games. Yeah, let's try that again. Running a variety of games for the sake of generating money for charity. It's weekend long, I believe. Yeet! No, missed it. Can I get back and still stay alive? I can. Weekend-long marathon where for 24 hours each of the days they've got live streamers who are streaming from home in to the event. They also do an on-site, you know, a live show more... Oh, wow, he pulled away quick. More in the direct vein of GDQ, of what we, you know, of what people think of from GDQ-style speedrunning marathon. Let's just complete this level and then I'll reset. There you go. Gets me out somewhere anyway. Up. They do that. The Midwest, what is it? It's Midwinter Speed Fest, I think, is coming up. In fact, submissions are opening soon for it, if they haven't already. And that'll be held in February or something like that in Minneapolis. And that will be a live on-site GDQ-style thing, where it's a big event and you're actually there. I actually kind of like what Midwest Speed Fest is doing with these, you know, restreamed, the live streamer streams, and then we restream them on our channel thing. It makes it so much more convenient to participate in a big marathon like that. I mean, it's not a big marathon. I don't know how many people we got watching right now, but possibly more than are watching Midwest Speed Fest right now for the size of it. But I also like that. It's a smaller thing. It's a small, you know, the people, therefore, who are participating in it, I mean, you know, tend to be speedrunners. The people watching, the people who are there, the people who are in the community are speedrunners. So it's like, you know, you get to talk speedrunning with speedrunners at the Speedrun Marathon. Everybody's having fun, and it's about speedrunning. Unless you offhandedly mention the shittier side of speedrunning, in which case you get banned from chat. Has been my experience in the past 24 hours. Aperture Combine says, after 4 concussions, your head just explodes. And the number of concussions that are taken, and then they, I mean, fuck, the WWE, wrestling. You know, the reports that have come out of that where, you know, somebody's got the flu and explosive diarrhea and they're on tour and it's like, the show must go on, get out there. And, you know, I can't remember who it is. Is it like Reigns or some WWE person just like telling the story of going out, you know, for the show, and like they can pick out in the footage, and that's where I shit myself. They actually shit themselves during the fight because they were so ill, but the show must go on. You know, so there's going to be controversy in sport. Mainly it revolves around people taking advantage of the athletes, and the athletes taking advantage of the game when they start cheating. You got 10 more viewers than Midwest Speed Festival. Maybe at the end of this we can raid them after I tell you the story. So, you know, as I said, had 2 really bad ME days, you know, sick, no energy, I'm just keep the lights off, please don't talk to me kind of days. Oh, this is all big, slow openings. And, I knew that, you know, I've been in the Midwest Speed Fest, like, Discord for year and a half or something like that. Snakeathon turned me on to it some time ago and said, you should submit to this one, too. When I was submitting to GDQ, and I looked into it, I was interested, but at the time I was also just too much on my plate, didn't understand it either. You know, I'd never seen how one of their events go, and there is this difference of the ones that are on site and the ones that are restream. I really like the restream ones. But, so, I've been around their Discord server, you know, it's been one of like 5 servers that have been on my tab for a very long time. I'm doing this all wrong. We're in anyway. And, so Midwest Speed Fest came on, can't remember what they're calling this particular one. Mid-fall speedball? Yeah, I think that's it, the mid-fall speedball. But, you know, it's just cool to see, especially because you're seeing, you know, you're seeing some runners who are kind of there to practice for GDQ, that's obvious, that's clear, that they want to, you know, try out their commentary, try out possibly their couch, too, just to see how things are going to go, try and work out some of the difficulties of doing a run live and, you know, on a smaller stage kind of thing. So you got that, but you've also got people who, oh, crap. Oh, crap. Okay, I think I can get in from here. I can't. Never mind. We'll start over. Because we don't need to take a death, and honestly, I'm more here to talk right now. I've got more of my mind focused on what I'm talking about. It's hard. It's hard, man. But yeah, so I spent those 2 days at the mid-fall speedball. Probably 14 hours of the days if you, like, collected all the time that I was just lying on the couch. Hanging out in chat, doing what I do, you know, doing this, not this, but, you know, doing me, which is, you know, you've got a lot of, sort of, second tier speedrunners. I mean, and that's not a criticism, I'm just saying, like, you know, mostly not the people who are going to be at GDQ, which is not a criticism, it's actually one of the things that I like more about it, because GDQ does seem to have, it has an image for me of you know, there's an in-group there, and the people who have been are more likely to go again, and it's more about who you know, and your history and stuff like that. But yeah, so, I'm in chat, cracking wise, making jokes, making people laugh, giving the runner something to talk about, something to distract them, making the runner laugh, like taking their stress away, stuff like that. Just doing what I do. What did I do? Don't do that. Don't do what you do there. I hit the button instead of just letting it start on its own. So I'm doing what I'm doing in there, making friends, meeting people. It was a good time. It was fun. You know, getting to chat about speedrunning with speedrunners and stuff. It was all well and good and nice. And then, at the end of a Splatoon run, which was a pretty well commentated run, I'm clearly just not into Splatoon, because it was a well commentated run, well executed, you know, showed off some tricks, took some time losses in order to show off some tricks, that kind of thing. It was a good run. but it was hard to keep my interest. I don't know, certain games just aren't your game, so as a speedrun, no to Splatoon for me. But I still, like, sat there and watched it, and at the end, you know, it was a good commentary, it was fun. The runners started talking about, you know, their community, given, like, a pitch that you usually would see at the end of a speedrun. Saying, you know, we got a great community. I can't do that. We got a great community. If you want to, you know, get into this run, I highly recommend you join one of our Discord servers. We got different servers for every version of the game. We talk about it. It's great. You know, we're really open and we can help you learn and stuff like that. And, like, as he was saying that, I had, like, this just genuine moment of realizing, oh, well, if I were asked, just, you know, if I were on one of these things, I couldn't do that pitch at all. I couldn't say that, you know? Like, it was a moment of my genuine realization that we don't have a community in Clustertruck. We have a lot of very cool individuals, Wolfie, Flaxy, Snake, AJ, Trixie, you know, lots of cool individuals in there, and then, like, as a group, not when those people get together, but as a group, the people who hang out in our Discord, you know, server are just nasty, horrible people. We got Taskinos, a moderator who thinks, you know, that cheating is just no big deal, A-okay, and the people who apparently are more interested in their friendships with people who have been lying to them than they are in knowing that they've been lying to them the whole time, and acknowledging what that means for the community and for the sport. Like, we have a really shitty community. You go on Landfall Games Discord server, I don't recommend it. I mean, I left it because I don't recommend it. Because, like, it's toxic. It's just awful. The in-group mentality, just insane. And it's not the actual runners is the thing. Like, the actual competitive runners aren't the ones, but, like, it's just a infestation of, there's an ant colony in there. Cockroaches got into the cupboards, and I can't recommend spending your time there, and you probably won't get help on speedrunning from those people. So yeah, I had this genuine moment of like, wow, so that, you know, that's what I'm missing in speedrunning. And to be fair, to be honest, like, I do have this smaller group of just individuals that, you know, friends on Discord, we DM each other regularly, AJ and Snake and Trixie and Wolfie and Flaxy and I, you know, people like that. Am I throwing Flaxy in there as a regular thing? But, you know, like, that exists, but what I don't have is that community that runner was, like, talking about, that I actually worked for a while when I first joined the Discord community, the Clustertruck Landfall Games Discord community. I worked for a while to try and, like, help foster it, help make it, because it really wasn't there. There wasn't a lot going on in the channel. People weren't really talking about it, weren't really talking about the runs, weren't really, like, meeting and just having conversations. It was just this dead channel on Landfall Games, and I just started talking a lot and trying to, like, get some energy from the community and try and, like, see, can we get people to, I mean, even if you can get, like, just competition, just, like, people, you know, kind of wryly wink and a nod, kind of, I'm gonna beat you, kind of thing, you know, that would be cool. That's part of the sport, that's part of sporting, that's part of community of sports, is let's have some of that, some friendly rivalry, that kind of stuff, and it was just, like, dead. And so I worked for, like, 6-8 months, you know, part of my thoughts around that community were, let's try and make something of this. Like, if the community isn't here, we can build it. It's up to us as the runners. And AJ and I would be often found talking in there. You know, occasionally we get Trixie involved. Snake's kind of quiet, so wouldn't participate, but wouldn't regularly participate, I mean. But yeah, that community just wasn't there from day one in the first place, even before there was controversy. And then after I found a cheater, I was more ostracized than the cheater from this community of, you know, speedrunners and people, friendly folk. I was more ostracized for having caught the person. It's like, you tell someone the unfortunate news and they hate you. It's like, don't kill the messenger here. But yeah, so I'm watching that on whatever it is, Midwest Speed Fest. And he says that, and it's like the first moment all day that I realized, like in that moment, wow, this is actually, I'm about to type the first like genuine thing that I've typed all day. Like I'm a, you know, I keep it light, it's fun, it's a charity run, it's, you know, I'm trying to help people be comfortable while they're doing their speed runs, give them something to laugh at themselves, laugh at the game, laugh at me, you know, be a clown, whatever's gonna work, and I enjoy that, people enjoy that, so, you know, we got a good thing going, me and people. I like being an idiot, you like me being an idiot, cool. But, you know, occasionally you want to be genuine, you want to say something that actually reflects, that isn't just a meme. It actually has depth and meaning and purpose to it. And, you know, as he was talking about how he's got this great community, and I'm realizing I don't, you know, I just kind of shared that sadness in chat by saying, you know, God, I wish I could say that. My community is awful. Lots of good people, and, you know, specifically, I specified lots of good individuals, but, you know, as a crowd, the community is just toxic. And somebody replied, God, I love my community. And I said, my community thinks cheating is A-okay. And then, boom, the ban hammer fell. You know? Boom, your messages have been deleted. And actually, I'd just been timed out at that point. They timed me out for 10 minutes, my messages have been deleted, and it was particularly nasty, you know, on my end, like my personal experience, not nasty on their side, but nasty because, like, in my own fucking community, in my own game, you know, I find somebody who's been lying to us for months and months and months about holding this world record, who then starts lying to us about other things, you know, prove and reprove, that's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie, get him to admit this, get him to admit that, with the help of fucking journalists, you know? All the work that had to be done to, you know, actually drag this, like, falsehood out into the light of day, and what I got back was, God, why do you have to make drama? Like, dude, I didn't make the drama. I caught the fucking drama. You know? Like, if you're sad about the drama, so you wanted the cheater to still be cheating and lying to everybody? Is that what you wanted in the sport, in your game, supposedly? And that's the thing, is most of the people who were, like, commenting this kind of shit and that make it a toxic community don't even fucking run Clustertruck. I don't know what they're doing there. I don't see them on the leaderboards, you know. They used to be on the, oh, I used to play 2 years ago. Oh, okay. Cool, so what are you still doing here? Well, I still got the channel open, so I thought I'd commentate on, you know, spectate on things that I'm no longer involved in. Well, there's a community trying to make important decisions about, you know, how we go forward now that we'd had this incident of lies and cheating that was proliferated and maintained for almost a year. I just thought I'd weigh in to tell you that you're a shit you're a shit stain for, you know, catching the cheater, because you're making the drama. Is that how it works for you? Okay, good luck with, like, logic in the rest of your life. But, you know, that's the experience that I had. I was ostracized from my community, and then when I slightly bring up, just as an aside, something, you know, while I'm making the first genuine statement that's not just memeing and fucking joking for 14 hours with these people who I've been hanging out with all that time, boom, chat moderators on it, you know, timeout, don't talk about that shit here. And it's just an aside. It wasn't even like I was gonna launch into anything. It was a genuine moment of this runner was talking about that, and it made me think, oh God, that sucks. And I've been talking to all of these people for all this time, starting to form relationships. Wouldn't it be nice if I could be genuine with the people I have relationships with? And as an aside, I mentioned this thing, and it's not gonna be like a turn in, you know, there was no warning, there's no, hey, you know, would you mind, we don't want to make that a big topic or anything, which I know, I have said on these live streams, like, GDQ has to fucking deal with that shit. That there's all these controversies, you get racists and bigots and assholes that, you know, they've been to GDQ a number of times, and then somebody posts the screenshots of their Discord where they're, like, all Jews must die shit, you know? And it's like, God damn it, it's just a charity event trying to like, put on a show here. Do they really have to deal with this? You know, they don't want to have to, Like, they got a 7-day event with hundreds of thousands of viewers and raising over $2 million a year. They got a lot on their plate. Could they not have to deal with this kind of bullshit controversy? I've said that right here. So I get it. Charity event, we don't want to, like, focus on, like, negative shit. But, you know, it's also a charity event about speedrunning. And if a speedrunner who's been chatting with the speedrunners in the speedrunner chat, you know, during the speedrunning marathon, can't offhandedly, as an aside, mention the existence of some of the shitty shit that exists in speedrunning. You know, just like tangentially associated with what I'm talking about, which is that my community sucks and not all communities in speedrunning are cool, and there's a lot of, you know, in-crowd bro mentality that comes about just in competitive gaming and in the little circles that form on Discord. Just in the mentioning of something genuine and experience that I had in like 1 1/4 of a post, I'm censored for it. And you know, it's almost, it's worse because it's GDQ. Or it's not GDQ. Like, GDQ, the big friggin' thing, they got a name, they got an image, they got a brand, you know, millions of dollars they're raising for charity. And then you got this small, homegrown, grassroots little thing that's just trying to do something neat, show off some speed runs that you're not going to see at GDQ, give some people some opportunities to run that, you know, probably wouldn't get the opportunity to run at a GDQ. Smaller marathon, doing its own thing, awesome. And instead, and you're just going to copy the playbook from the giant, like, corporate entity, from the large entity that has all of that stuff. You're gonna, like, not take advantage of the fact that you are grassroots and you are small and it's mostly speedrunners watching the speedruns. I mean, it's fine, you can, is the thing. You can. It's just shitty. And what it is, you know, what it made me think about is that it's endemic of professional sporting and of, competitive gaming in general, speedrunning and all the other ways that there's competitive gaming, that, you know, we don't want to actually talk about the things that are fucked up. We just want to pretend that they don't exist, which is sort of endemic of just the human experience, isn't it, in, you know, 2019, in these modern days. You know, there's shitty stuff out there. You live in a country, if you live in America, that has internment camps. Something that we couldn't have said since, like, the 1950s and, you know, since World War II and Japanese internment camps. I don't think that we've had internment camps since then. We now have internment camps in 2019 on the southern border. Let's just not talk about it. You know, and it's very much, it's built into that, like, some of you were worried about me as I was applying for partner on Twitch, that, you know, you talk politics and you talk, you know, real stuff, and, you know, this isn't gonna work, man. You can't do that and be a partner. Twitch isn't gonna like that. And, like, your worries, your concerns are legitimate and genuine and fair. And isn't that a problem, that your concerns are legitimate and genuine and fair? That the policy of the wide open, fair expression internet, where we've finally connected all human beings, we've torn down national cultural borders, and, you know, everybody's connected now, and everybody's one, and you can just be free and open, and, you know, freedom of expression, freedom of speech! And what we actually have at the end of the day is the assumption that if you say the wrong thing in the wrong place, you will immediately be censored. Banhammer. Boom! You know, Reddit. The idea of Reddit, to me, before I got involved in it, before I actually tried it, was, oh, cool. Giant, wide open social forum where you got topics and boards for anything and everything, and people can discuss and talk and have debates and arguments, and, you know, but, you know, you got it. Free speech. Cool. And what we actually have from Reddit, what Reddit actually is a series of small, insular, you know, self-destructive boards where people who share the same philosophy just share the same philosophy, and anyone who comes along to, you know, debate or challenge or question or present a different argument is just told to get the fuck out of here, you know? Your posts are against the rules because you don't agree with what we're saying. And since we have already referenced that Tom Scott video today, Tom Scott's speech to his presentation to, what was it? Hello, baby bearish Jew. You okay, Ronan Point? Yeah, I'm fine. But, like, his speech, I can't remember who it was, you know, Scientific Education Council kind of a thing. Hey, Gale Guy, thank you for the raid, party of 3. Would you know, hang on. Someone get 3 waters to table 6, party of 3 coming in. Where are the menus? Why is the silverware dirty? Oh, crap. What was I saying? Something about something, and then Baby Bear Jewish came in, and I forgot. Hey man, I work with the Immigration and Customs a lot. We don't have internment camps, and the holding centers, if you're talking about them, have been in place since 2003 or so, and was finished and put in place in 2012. It's not new, not saying they are good, just that it's not something that has been gone since the 1940s. Okay, so it's been around, I mean, it's one thing to have, like, that's the problem here, is that to have, like, you know, basic threadbare tent housing for, like, refugees who are crossing the border because they're trying to escape from horrible things that are going on from people who are murdering them based on their color of skin, or their political or religious beliefs. You know, refugees to have, like, temporary housing on the border, whilst, you know, we figure out what we're gonna do, is all well and good, so long as the people who are doing that consider it that. Don't consider them internment camps. Don't consider that the end of the path, you know? Like, we're gonna figure out, you know, we're gonna get you applied, we're gonna look into, you know, we're gonna figure out what needs to happen for you to be given asylum. Sure, there's paperwork that's time, here's some temporary housing. I don't know that, you know, it really needs to be tents in the desert in the modern world, but okay, whatever. You know, sure. Sudden influx, you gotta deal with it. You know, maybe just throw up some tents, sure. But, you know, it kind of comes down to the intent behind it and who's running it and what they're doing with it and whether it is a stop on the way to resolving a problem or whether it's kind of just where we leave people. And I know that also with customs and immigration, we maintain kangaroo courts that have deported, I believe every 20 years we have deported about 5,000 American citizens based on the color of their skin to countries that often they've never been to because they were born here and shit. 5,000 either naturalized or actual, like, just citizens of the United States of America accidentally get deported every 20 years. So, you know, what does that break down to? A couple hundred a year? Human beings end up getting sent to a country that they've never been to because someone looked at them in the South and said, "You look brown! You need to prove that you're a citizen. Here, come into these kangaroo courts where it really is, the burden is on you to prove that you're a citizen," which isn't how the courts work in any other circumstance. And then, yeah, there's thousands of people have been sent to places they've never been because they were born here. But, you know, maybe English isn't their first language, and we've got these, you know, objectively, measurably racist, both police forces and, you know, judicial systems in place to handle immigration on the South. And I say objectively because the courts did indeed convict good, what's-his-face, the sheriff that, Joe Arpaio, that Trump then pardoned, who'd been operating a measurably convicted, the courts decided, racist police force for several decades, and with the pardon, Trump deprived tens of thousands of American citizens of ever seeing any justice for the harassment, haranguement, and, you know, abuse of their constitutional rights that they'd been receiving under Joe Arpaio all those days. So, you know, when you see tents on the border full of people whom, you know, when you then hear about the, when you then hear people talking about it's a good policy to, you know, take their children away from them as a deterrent. Take children away from parents. in order to deter people from trying to cross the border. You know, we've got a pretty fucked up situation down there. And it's the only reason why we're talking about that right now is that I brought it up as, you know, another thing that people just don't talk about. You know, these issues, we have them. They're real. We know about them. The statistics are there. The truth is in. We've got fucking presidential pardons trying to make it so that we don't have to talk about them. Trying to, you know, set racist fucking prejudicial standards. But, you know, the best version of the world that we can present is the one where we just ignore it, you know? Just don't talk about it. Listen, at the end of the day, I work hard. I don't want to have to talk about this shit. I don't want to think about how fucked up the world is. Holy crap, that was an amazing 210 for a sub 15-second time. Wow. Pulled back some death losses right there, didn't I? What are you doing? Well, I'm messing up the 3-1 open. And then pop over, hit this guy into there, missed the mega jump. We're gonna lose time off of that one. But yeah, we've fostered a culture here where people believe what they believe regardless of fact. You know, regardless of convictions, where you've got people who actually say things like with the Joe Arpaio deal, you know. He was convicted by the court, like the court system actually sent him a cease and desist and said, Joe, listen, out of respect for your many years of service, we didn't just prosecute you. We're sending you a cease and desist because it is measurably a fact that your policies are racist and against the Constitution and the rights of, you know, the people whom you've been torturing in these communities for several decades. So Joe, out of respect for you, which I disagree with whether they should have, you know, offered him anything, we're gonna give you a cease and desist. If you stop now, you know, no prosecution needs to take place. Joe said, you know, threw him the middle finger, kept doing things the way he always did, having a good brown day, I believe is one of the quotes, you know. Let's get out there and have a good brown day, which is, you know, means let's get out there and take, you know, arrest and harass as many Hispanics as we possibly can, under the assumption that the people who have more right to be in this particular geographical location on the planet, as it's their ancestors who were here long before ours were, you know, on the assumption that they shouldn't be here. And you still got people who, like, the federal courts convict, and it's like, well, you can't listen to the convictions of the federal courts. Okay. And then, you know, who can you listen to? What do you listen to? Well, you listen to the president. Well, what if, like, right after the president makes their statement, the, like, Secretary of State comes out and releases a document, you know, like, has to publish, that's not how the law works, please don't listen to that. Who do you listen to now? And it just turns into this big argument of, well, that's the point. You can't listen to anybody. It's all corrupt, so I choose to believe whatever the fuck I want to believe, regardless of fact, is where we have ended up as a culture. And it has to do, I'm just resetting because I want to do this right. Short, long, one more long, one short now. I didn't do it right, but that's better. You know, a big part of what we have right now in our cultural zeitgeist, in our society, in our social institutions, is the just don't think about it deal. And we literally live in a country where our conveniences, our products, our supply chains, from the Walmart to you know, your closet, involve child labor and people in countries where they just don't have big human rights interests. You know, people just don't care about that, who work for these big name corporations, who you watch their advertising 20 times a day, and they've got a workforce of people who don't, you know, who work full time but don't make the living wage for their area. Not our living wage, for Malaysia's living wage. And it's just, don't talk about it, don't think about it. It's just the way the world is. It's just, you know, what can you do? You can, at the very least, talk about it, think about it, and try and demand more. That would be sort of the starting point. Not the, let's not talk about it, let's not think about it, let's not acknowledge it. That would be where I would start with it, anyway. And that's, you know, why I even brought all that kind of stuff up, is because, like, it's just sad and it's disheartening, 3, 4, as a human being, just to see human beings, basically. I mean, it's not like it's anything new. It's not like the internet changed it, I suppose, but certainly has immediately reset, because you can do this. Certainly has made it more right up in your fucking face. Can I still get around the corner? Yes, nailed it, and into the goal. It's worth it to take that early reset. Absolutely worth it to take that early reset. Wow, we're 10 seconds ahead? Damn. Should stop talking politics and run the game at some point here. But yeah, it's just sad to see, you know, how it is that you can, like, how you wind up with, like, a world and a mentality and a society and just social constructs where nothing is true, nothing matters, let's just not talk about it, let's pretend it doesn't happen and carry on, you know? It's easier to sell Coca-Cola if we don't talk about Coca-Cola. We don't talk about how Coca-Cola is made. Oh shit! That was a good setup. That was just really bad luck that it didn't give me the jump the way that I had set it up to give me the jump. Okay, give me that. No. Alright, we'll go straight in there. Still on good time. We put in a gold? How did I put in a gold there? Alright, I got a jump I can use. Whoa, 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 whoa. Ow. And so I experienced a much smaller, much lesser, not a big deal version of that with the Midwest Speed Fest. In the past couple of days. That just started making me think about censorship and where we stand as a fucking species today, and how we get to the point where truth isn't truth, reality isn't reality, where you can literally have the fucking evidence in your hand, and people will be like, that doesn't mean anything. But no, this is what evidence is. Actually, evidence means that it means something. That's what it. No. No, let me explain to you how it is that reality isn't reality. Oh, okay. Yeah, please do, go on about that. But the fact, you know, where we do, as a culture, like, try to avoid speaking about what is uncomfortable to speak about, that's why we end up with things that are uncomfortable to speak about, you know? Because you don't do, like, let me tell you a Zen story. Let me wrap this, let me make everything connect to everything. I'll tell you a Zen story here, okay? Once upon a time, and this is a story I've heard, I don't know firsthand, because it was before my time at the Zen Center. Once upon a time, they were having a problem at the Zen Center! Fuck! Losing time now. They were having a problem at the Zen Center with people, like, had been stealing. There's a donation box, and they didn't have it secured in the smartest way. Come on, there you go. All right, that's a decent, like, recovery. So people would come into the, you know, front door of this church, see the donation box, reach their hand in, and just, like, take money out of it. So that's pretty fucked up, huh? I mean, I know it's a Zen Buddhist thing. It doesn't look like your churches look kind of deal. It's still a church, man. So they were having a problem, and one day, while meditating, they heard somebody, you know, getting in there, trying to get in there again, and trying to rob what is basically the altar, you know, plate. And so the Zen student who heard, what they did is they went immediately from being sat down on the meditation mat, staring at a wall, you know, trying to manifest peace, to chasing this thief down on foot for, like, half a mile. Blocks and blocks and blocks, over fences, into people's yards, chasing, not giving up until the guy who was running turns back, panting, and looks at him, just stops and turns back, and the Zen student stops as well. And panting as well, you know, it says to him, "You can run as long as you want, I'm not gonna stop. I'll be right behind you wherever you decide to go." And you might, like, the reason that I mention that is you might hear that story and think, wow, that doesn't sound like a monkly thing to do. But that is the most monkly thing to do. Because what, you know, Zen and monks and what that practice is about acceptance. It's about accepting everything exactly for what it is, as it is, where it is. And people seem to have confused in the modern era, or just in general because they're people throughout history, the concept of acceptance with tolerance. You know, with being like, well, I accept it, so I'm not going to do anything about it. No, that's not what acceptance is. Acceptance of the moment is accepting that in this moment, you need to chase the fucking thief. You know, you don't need to think about it, you don't need to process, you don't need to worry, wonder, think about, you know, how's this going to look for me as a monk wearing robes that I'm out chasing this thief down? No. The most natural thing in the universe right now is someone is robbing your Zen temple, you chase them, and you track them down. And you just do it without thinking. That's what acceptance is. It's not tolerance. It's not saying, okay, well, I guess this is just how it's going to be. No. No, acceptance is accepting that you are in a situation... I need those time saves. You are in a situation that calls for a certain behavior, a certain action, and not resisting that because that's not usually what you do. You know? Doesn't seem like me. No, you rush in because it's time to rush in. Shit, I'm fucking this up. It's time to reset this one. I can't believe we got this far while I've been, like, talking about all of this stuff for as long as I have been. Talking about out my ass about all this kind of thing. But yeah, like, the more that you just sit back and let things be, that's exactly what you're gonna get, is whatever they be, it's gonna continue being that. So if that's what you're into, you're enjoying the way that things are fucked up, well then, don't do anything or say anything about them, and you'll get the same thing. And that's what I'm just tiring of, culturally. Especially in an era where, you know, it's almost worse that things seem to be so, like, open and modern and everything. Like, there is so much, things have gotten so much better if you know, look for them. We have friggin' transgender House representatives, and it's okay. Fuck! He just disappeared. It's okay to be gay, societally. It's okay to be non-binary in your sexual identity and shit like that. Like, these are things that people had to hide for their entire lives about themselves from everyone they know. You know? Gay people being married and having children, who damn well knew that they were gay, but, you know, it was the only life that they had available to them. Things have gotten better, and it's almost that much, like, worse to have to look out on a world where things have gotten that much better. And see the stark contrast of the places in which they objectively have gotten worse. Or that they are just the same, even. Like, how can we be here and also be here at the same time? It's like, God. You know, at least in the 50s, misogyny was like the way of things, and it's like, okay, misogyny, right. You know, wrong choice and everything, but it is just what's going on. But now, like, when you see the opaque misogyny that does still exist, and people trying to defend it in an era where, no, we're past that. It's that much more fucking shocking and striking and startling. Ugh. And yeah, this is probably why I'm not a partner on Twitch, why they decided not to partner. You look for evil, that's all you will ever find. Look for good, well, if you look for good, that's all you'll ever find too, though. You know? Use your own point. Don't forget that one. If you look for evil, you will only ever find evil. If you look for good, you will only ever find good. So, you know, just look would be the goal. Oh, shit. I need to actually be on this one? Okay. Nailed it. Wow, I can't believe I am, like, as complicated as my thought lines are right here, and I feel like I haven't expressed myself very well because I've been speedrunning at the same time. I am also, like, pretty damn proud of having been able to semi-coherently speak about these topics all this time and still be like 20 seconds off of PB. This is incredible. Pop, pop, pop. I mean, that's 20 seconds we can actually get back in World 9 if things went well. All skill, no luck. All skill, no luck. All skill, no luck. Holy crap, all skill, no luck. That was a lot of skill. Next to the luck. Holy balls, pulling that back. Woo! Now in and in and in. But yeah, so, you know, just my experience with being banned from the Midwest Speedfest chat, you know, got me thinking about censorship and how much time seems to be spent, especially for commercial interest's sake, in presenting an image that we are far more, like, modern and you know, reasonable people who treat each other fairly and decently than is actually true. Because it's harder to sell, you know, kitschy little bullshit that nobody needs in their life. Hard to sell little pieces of plastic junk. Damn it. When people are thinking about how dissatisfied they are with the state of their government, their world, with the intolerance, with the wars, with the racism, with the homophobia, the people defending just reprehensible shit. Come on, baby. Yes! 12.1 out of there. Yeah, that's a gold. That was a gold. I don't usually do that, but you know, we're already on bad time, so might as well do it. I love being on bad time, but being close enough that you could get it back means you get to take some extra risks. Into 8-7 now. One of the big RNG moments in the game. Don't want to move while we're going uphill like that. But while we're on the flat uphill, then I can do this. Now, can I get to the front trucks? I don't think I can. Alright, I picked a good truck. I can connect and go into goal. Lovely. Okay, this is not an RNG moment, but it is rather difficult. It's not that difficult, but it trips me up. Behind the line of scrimmage so many times. Hit! And then nobody wants... See? And then nobody wants to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Let's just not talk about that. Didn't happen. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, just very disheartening to come to a speedrunning event full of just speedrunners mainly. You know? And not be able to talk about speedrunning if any portion of the conversation happens to tangentially kind of half-almost reference the fact that some things are not great in speedrunning, that we do have problems. I mean, when you break down the, when you actually just consider, like, the controversies that competitive gaming has seen, just those. Just take out, you know, forget about the industry and loot boxes and, you know, legalized gambling for children and things like that. You forget about crunch time at EA, forget about all the other controversies. Just look at, like, competitive gaming controversies. Uh-oh. Nope, made it. We're good. We're good. I can ride this, I can take the kick, we're in. Just look at competitive gaming controversies, and what do you got? You got, like, Nazi youth propaganda stuff. You got... Whew, I had to get low to make that work. It's scary. Scary. You've got, like, misogyny, like women-hating things that have come down. You've got some of the most difficult levels in Clustertruck to still be talking about this topic on while you're running them. You've got... Pull it back and walk it in without a death. Beautiful. 9-3, we just pulled time back. You know, before you even start thinking about, you know, cheating and stuff, which is a problem for a, you know, sport such as this. Come on. Yes. 16-second clear out of there. Holy crap. But before you start getting into cheating, you've got much more, like, people being treated as second-class human beings. And you've got kids, and, you know, young adults who are idolizing these, like, really awful people because they saw them, because they're their favorite speedrunner, you know, they saw them on a GDQ, that kind of thing, who are then, like, leading them into, like, Hitler Youth situations that are leading them into, like, Nazi propaganda, you know, look out for the Jews, who've been growing the lizard people who've been running the government, You know, like shit like that, and it's real. It's not. I'm not exaggerating. Like that's the kind of shit that you get out there. And it's like this is just gaming's problem. I mean, this is just competitive gaming's like. I mean, it's not just there. I mean, those problems exist in competitive gaming. Jesus Christ! Maybe we should be talking about them so that we don't end up with more young kids being like indoctrinated into Hitler Youth scenarios by popular speedrunning personalities, by popular competitive gamers. Maybe we should make people aware that this is going on so that things can be better and different and change. Anybody up for that? Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it, double damn it. Triple damn it. Holy crap. I'm in. And we're on green, well, we're so close, we might as well be on green time, huh? 2 golds out of there. Have I gone deathless through world 9? No, you haven't. Get me up. Holy crap, I almost died there. Yeah, pop, and then a jump. We're gonna do the second truck. See how this works out for me. I'm gonna take the big, all right, no, that's fine. Short one. Off of you, to you. Some speed, come in, let's go. Let's go. 2, 3. The right. And the clap. Move me over. Should have done the 19-second clear method. Come on. Nope. Nope. Holy. Not the way I intended, but we're here. And we're lined up. Just line it up and go. Yes! Beat my PB! Again! Again! Wow! Wow! Short PB, but a PB on a PB. Oh my god. 2450. 2452 down from just, Noah, are you still here? We need to update that PB again. Holy crap, for fuck's sake, I just updated the command. I'm sorry. I don't mean to increase your workload. But I PB'd again. What am I gonna do? I'm out, man, good run. Thanks for coming by, Chinter. Anybody who's stuck around through me blathering on about, you know, problems and because it's like a relatively little thing in the scope of all the shitty things that are going on in the world right now, but like, it just seems like the same core is at the core of kind of all of it. People, decent people, who ignore and pretend for the sake of something. I've got a good reason, so I ignore and pretend. It's not really going on. Let's just not talk about it. Yes, it's going on, but let's not talk about it here. Some other time, when there's less people, like, as part of the conversation, so that it's never really talked about in a public and open way. That would be a good time for it. He just can't stop. You got 4 golds in this run, right? Did I? Oh, there's 4 in just World 9. Apparently our practice in World 9 friggin' paid off, huh? 55 seconds faster. Look at that, look at that. 55 seconds faster through World 9 than our last PB. And there's another gold, so there's 3 there, there's a 4th gold there. And then is that a 5th gold in Medieval? Wow. Am I sure I didn't skip a level or something? Did we not just come out of there? God, I was so distracted too for the first, I mean, all the way through Sci-Fi World with the conversation. How do I do that? How is it possible for me to do that? I'm over here aiming for HTDN's 2429. I should be aiming for Wolfie's time. If I could do that while talking that shit. I love that. That's great, Noah. That's great, Noah. That's a great way to do the PB command. Ronan Pawn, Inhuman Reactions. Aiming for snakes time, says Wolfie. Oh, should I be? Should I be aiming for snakes? Oh, you're sweet. But yeah, 1.2. Managed to pull all that back right at the end. I think we just came deathless through hell. No, we didn't. You reset. You took a death on the thing. That was a really good hell, though. Look at those fucking golds, too. Sum of best down to 20 minutes, 48.77 seconds now. in these splits. Store them, save them, stop the recording, and I'm not gonna... I don't know. I'll watch it back. I don't know if I would upload that one. Because I have to hear, like, myself, like, does it sound stupid when I'm saying it? Because I'm speedrunning while I'm trying to talk about this very deep and complicated issue. And how stupid do I sound? Because at least 30% of my brain has to be speedrunning in order to move through the game, right? So I'm down by some significant percentage of my brain trying to talk about, you know, simple topics like racism, misogyny, cultural apathy, the zeitgeist of modern. It's sort of, you know, one hemisphere of your brain time behind your back there. What you drinking, Pawns, is Tarantula. We're drinking the Strohs, the cheap stuff. The cheap stuff that's fairly watery. Just takes the edge off of my pain, so it's basically medication for me at this point. What made you want to start speedrunning Clustertruck, and how does someone get into it? Says IDQ Pete, or IQD Pete. You're a cutie, Pete. You are a cutie. You're 50 cuties, Pete. I actually want to do, like, I've got footage from our Halloween run. We ran on Halloween Clustertruck in the Halloween level, and we just did everything that goes into speedrunning in the course of that, because I'd never run the Halloween levels before. So I want to turn that into a video that is exactly the answer to your question. But the short version of that video is simply to say, you know, you start out doing the ILs, individual levels. You take each little section of the game that, you know, is considered a little section of the game if it's not broken up like Clustertruck is, that like the speedrun boards consider a little section of the game, on the individual basis, as small as you can make them. So if you've got like segments on the leaderboards, you want like sections of the segments. In Clustertruck, we're really set up for it because you look at my splits, we've got the segments, which are 10 level blocks, but we've got the levels individual of themselves. So you start with the individual levels, and you just do them as fast as you can. You look for ways to run them faster every time, and you just push harder and push harder and push harder. It's great if you've got some leaderboards for the ILs to compete against, because it's really fun to be running and being like, oh, I'm in the top 200, oh, I'm in the top 100. But you start with the ILs, you run them as fast as you can, and then once you've got the ILs done, then you go to the segments. You start running the segments. Like, this is the loop of speedrunning. If you're not following this loop, you know, you're wasting a lot of your energy. You start with the ILs, then you learn the segments, or rather you try to take the methods and the skills that you've picked up while running individual levels and translate them to a segment where you've got to protect some of your time. You can't take as many risks in the segment as you can in the IL, maybe, depending on the game kind of thing. And then once you've, you know, done all of the segments for your game, then you go into doing the full game. And then once you've done the full game for a bit, you loop this cycle because you will have gotten better while you're doing the full game. And this is not only like how you get good at it, but how you have fun at it. You know, because that's the main goal for someone who wants to, you know, get into speedrunning, whether you want to be like a serious competitor, you know, top in the world, or you just like the idea of it, still the main goal is to have fun with it. If you are running competitively in speedrunning and you are in the top, you know, 3 in the world and you're not having fun with it, what's that worth? You know, so like this method of doing the ILs and then the segments and then the full game and then coming back to the ILs and then doing the segments and then doing the full game, it keeps it fun. You get to see yourself getting better. You get to, you know, train yourself and get better, but you also get to see the fruits of your labor coming through. And, you know, in Clustertruck, just in this past, you know, iteration of coming back since the GDQ debacle and Connor Ace and all that kind of stuff, after coming back after 6 months, I have gotten so much faster just in the general movement, just in getting lower on my jumps, being willing to get a little bit lower, knowing where I should get a little bit lower to get so much more speed. It started to change a lot of my routing because now I'm going so fast that I'm in slightly different places than I used to be when I get there. And so it's like, you go back to the ILs and you see, oh my God, I can run this faster. Oh, I could do this, because you're learning new things, and it just keeps it fun. It keeps it alive. It keeps it bright. Even if your community is a bunch of assholes. We're going to take a 7-minute live stream break here, and when we come back, we're going to keep running. I didn't expect a PB on that, and wouldn't it be nice if I just ran it? I beat the laser on Steampunk, but it didn't record. I was so pissed. You beat the laser on Steam? Wolfie, what do you mean, the laser on Steampunk? In the Steampunk world, is there a laser? What are you talking about? We're going to take a 7-minute live stream break. Oh, the end of it. Laser. I'm confused. We're going to take a 7-minute live stream break. I'm going to get unconfused. And when we come back, we're going to keep running Clustertruck. Maybe, if you're good and you want, I could show you the city that I built in City Skylines. I'm very proud of it. I had a good time. I managed traffic very well. Thank you, Zorglob. Take a break. All right, taking a break. Let's go dig a hole and join me back here in 7 minutes. Pawn not out.
Secrets of making friends? They are so simple and easy. Well, that looks easy enough. And Joey is going to try it out.
The summer's here, but just for a while. The night arrives, now I can smile. Just a little bit, speak up a little bit. It's past my bedtime,
diversity.
To feel the need to pollinate.
All day, things have been going better for Joe. Still smiling and talking to people, finding good things about people and telling them about the good things. Going home isn't going to be lonely this time.
When the morning comes and no one's around, the sun's stripped and blinding, but without a sound. My friends and I laugh as we sit in the dark and watch the hills blossom near Central Park. And as the heat goes up, the cares go down. As the fire gets hot all around the town. Summer's here to start, but it's not too late to feel the need to pollinate.
Mother thinks that's a good idea.
It's the sign of the season to pollinate. You know you never need a reason to pollinate. It's the sign of the season to pollinate. You know you never need a reason to go.
We were born to bring it back, but it's more than basic. It's a portion of its rap at the core is ancient. It's supported like a pack of some more observations. They're important like the fact that we're born to think shit. More creative, have the floor, so take it. Travel to the core is a normal placement. Tattoos on my arm ain't a form of faith yet. I battle with the thought of my morals vacant. Turns out, don't confuse it with a turn up. Ain't a veggie I can see unless you count the burnt blunts. Burn up, I can do this Ric Flair stuff. You consider stir tough, I can never care enough. Care 11 kind of trouble when we're paired up. Apparently the fair started early, grab a bear stuff. My gears, clutch, and motor are all a rare cut. Basically with blood diamonds, ain't that hard to sell us.
My name ain't Micah, you know why? Cause I don't give a fuck. That's why it doesn't matter whether I'm cool.
Hello, I am Rush Limbaugh, and welcome back to the times we live in. It's a society, we live in one. I am Twitch.tv, and this is a Ronin Pawn stream or something. Isn't that what I usually say? I'm not late! No screenshot never happened. Oh wait, it's all recorded. Actually, hang on.
Undeceivable, shit's unbelievable. You never ever guessed you'd hear this mix, it's inconceivable. Ouch, too hot, baby, back out of the kitchen. This is what you love at one of us, so daddy, put your bitch. I'm a poisonous affliction with a fireball addiction. Man, it burns like hell and tastes like heaven. You say balls itching. Now I got you campers itching. This is music for your children. If you never heard the cue before, you don't know what you're missing.
Hey! Damn, that's hot. It's hot, man. Welcome back. We live in a society. It's true. Super Mawil just subbed. Thank you, Super Mawil, for the subscription. 2 months. All right, we're starting to see 2 months. This is cool. It's like the first time that I've noticed. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but that's the first time I've noticed, like, sort of, you know, new wave subscribers, 2nd month. That's cool. That's cool. Thank you, Super Mawil. Wolfie? All right. What? What? Are you confused about who Wolfie is? Wolfie is, you know, the guy who grinds segments in Clustertruck down to a place where, like, the rest of us who've been running the game for ages sit there and go, are you kidding me? I have to do that now? No. No, that's who Wolfie is. Now you know. IQD Pete, subbing. Thank you, IQ. You cutie Pete. You just a cutie Pete. Thank you for the sub. Ronin Pawn, mate. WTF, I've got like 13 months. I'm not saying, it's cool to see it starting like new people on the second month. I'm not saying, you know, I'm just saying, Noah, I have paid you before. You're just paying me. Especially desert. You are right, Ronan. Especially desert. I got a 121. Yeah, I don't even want to do whatever it is that you do now. 121. I average 133 or something out of World 1. I'm not even trying for your 12 seconds. I don't know how you got them off. I don't want to know how you got them off. Yeah, why aren't you paying me anymore? Is this stuff? Food stamps my ass. Well, I applied. They just... Okay, now you're getting me back on politics again. Alright, the music's really loud. Please stop. Please, at least in my headphones. It's not really loud, but it's louder than it usually is, because after you clear the game, the audio doesn't reset. I used hacks. That's what I was thinking, Wolfie, and I'm gonna catch you. I catch 'em all. Come on! Ronin Pong, gotta catch 'em, it's you and me! Oh god, there is a really, really good and bad song right there to be made from this whole scenario, is there? But, yeah, to try and put a friggin' bow on the conversation about censorship and about whether or not you talk about it and where it's appropriate to talk about it and stuff, like, it is a gray area. There are no clear lines about what you say and what you don't say, and the internet is just a really bad place to try and have a conversation about anything. I think because we've all been so irresponsible about it and just sort of accepted that, you know? Like, there is now a culture, an internet culture, that is like, don't talk about anything real or serious, because if you start talking about it, somebody else is going to come in with their, you know, which individual, like, which race faked the moon landing lizard man propaganda stuff, and then it'll just be a big mess, and we don't want that here. So nobody talk about anything that's real or serious or that's problematic or that's actually going on. We just want to meme all day on the internet. And that's a cultural and societal problem in and of itself. Like, if we keep down that path, what do we end up with? But so if I can put a bow on, you know, talking about being banned from chat, no big deal, by Midwest Speed Fest, which we're probably going to raid at the end of this thing, and if we do, when we do, don't, like, be jerks about anything, just, you know, just go in there and hang out, because I was enjoying myself before they banned me, and I'll watch even though they won't let me talk. And the runner who's running doesn't need to, you know, doesn't deserve to take any crap because MWS or Midwest Speed Fest's, you know, moderation team is a little bit quick on the pistol. To put a bow on it, like, here's what you could do, GDQ and other marathons and things that involve yourself in speed running. Instead of just trying to pretend like it never happens, like there aren't problems, like there aren't issues, like cheating isn't a big problem for speed running because it's so easy to splice runs together and people are, that there aren't these little insular sect communities forming around, you know, cult of personality type things on Discord where people are leading young minds astray into intolerance and hate and shit like that. Instead of not talking about it at all and pretending like it isn't happening, make it part of the show. You know, like, address it in a calm and dispassionate and like you can be passionate about it, but like in a calm and collected manner and be like, let's talk about these issues that exist. You've got all of this time, you're filling time between runs and stuff like that, especially with GDQ, you got people on the couch, you're interviewing them and stuff. Have some, you know, a segment where you talk about the problems that exist and how we can improve them and what's going wrong and, you know, how we can be more responsible in the sport and, like, one, you address them. One, it's great for marketing. I mean, that's why the NFL and NBA, I think, you know, and major sports, competitive sports have started to get on board with, oh, maybe we shouldn't just pretend like it isn't happening because we can actually make a lot of money off of people, off of talking about it. But, you know, more so, it's the responsible thing to do to your world, you know, and to your community and your sport is to not pretend like the problems that exist don't exist, because you inherently become tacitly complicit in those problems if you just choose not to talk about them at all. And it doesn't have to be a focal point, it doesn't have to be, but like, the thing that, whatever it was that I said in chat, it was like 2 little posts kind of thing, was nowhere near like, oh, quick, silence that guy without a warning, censor that person immediately. It was nowhere near that. It was like, and especially since I've been there all day and the day before, like, have you gotten a sense of like me? Have you made any kind of, interpersonal connection here where maybe you'll give me the benefit of the doubt for a couple of seconds? When you start just stifling any reference, any commentary on anything about it, shut it down immediately, you're now part of the problem. Problem's on your shoulders now. So, I'm not saying like lean into it. I'm saying like these problems exist. They're problems for you guys in organizing these events and things when it comes to like GDQ and the various controversies that have come down with some of their runners being found to be really nasty, bad people. And they end up banning them and stuff. You say, well, there, as a statement's been made. They've banned them for a time or something like that. And okay, yeah, that is a statement. But, when then, like, publicly, when everyone's paying attention, it's a statement to the community, within the community. But when publicly everybody's watching, when all the people, especially the young minds who are being shaped by these hate mongers and things, through their cults of personality, when they're watching and they're on and they're paying attention, you don't acknowledge it, you don't say anything about it. You're just creating the opportunity for the cycle to renew itself and for all of it to happen again and again and again. And I'm saying, like, don't pretend it isn't. Don't lean into it. Don't try and make controversy out of nothing. There is a responsible way to talk about it, and it is irresponsible to not talk about it at all. So, consider what it is that you are doing and what it is that you care about. If you're going to be doing speedrunning marathons, then maybe you should give a shit about speedrunning and the state of speedrunning, and whether or not we got a bunch of cheaters, whether or not we're creating these little pockets of culture where people are being, indoctrinated into white nationalism and stuff. Maybe you have a responsibility to that. Maybe you should care about that a little bit. Cutie Pete says, I got banned from someone I used to watch because they were getting really toxic, and I just said I didn't know they were toxic and it wasn't fun to watch. Got banned, so I messaged them to Maj to ask why, and they literally just said I was dumb and don't watch if it's not fun. Yep. It's the kind of mentality you get right now. Everybody's just, if you've got a ban hammer, it's a very difficult thing in like having any kind of moderation for a community, because things do get out of hand on the interwebs quite quickly, and you get people like arguing about things, and then it's just off the friggin' rails, and it's just people shouting epithets back and forth at each other, and you're trying to manage trying to manage a community and keep things like fun and engaging and interesting, and form relationships that mean something. Holy crap, Super Mawil dropping a sub wall on us. 5 subs from Super Mawil. Thank you so much. I'm just getting a run started, but thank you so... don't worry, I'm gonna die here any second, and then I can truly express my gratitude with, I'll take the shirt off, we'll dance around. Thank you so much for the 5 subs. Oh, crap. But yeah, everybody's so quick to pull the friggin' ban hammer out that we end up just not talking about things that absolutely need to be talked about, which guarantees that they will happen again. And there's got to be like a healthy balance of that. You got to be aware, you got to have some responsibility for what you're doing, and if you do care about, if you care about what you're doing, then care about it, how it affects other people. And part of what you're doing is living. So, care about the lives of other people. It's not that hard either. Just pretend if you don't. It'll work out so much better for you too. They ban you, report them to Twitch, Sister Mason. Yeah, they ban you, that you report them to Twitch, they report you, and it's just cycle continues. Thank you so much, Super Will, and Gigi, congratulations. Congratulations to Atticus Pedge, Ted the Tank, I invented that, Xeris, maybe, and Executor too, Executor of the Will. You all just got a free sub. cool. I still wanted to support him. I just didn't like them being so toxic. Was it the community being toxic, or was it the streamer themselves? I mean, either way, it's like, yeah, if you can't even, like, approach someone who's saying something crappy without being banned, you know, that's how, like, friends interact, is usually it's the people around you who, based on their responses to the things that you're saying, inform you of the fact that you're being an ass, right? It's the feedback that you get. It's the mirror that shows what you look like. So if you can't, like, say to someone whom you actually do feel some connection to, you do care about, who you enjoy their personality and their company, you know, the things that you're doing and saying right now are a little fucked up without somebody going, all right, let's shut that guy down. And that is everything that I've been talking about in one small situation there, because everything that happens from that scenario of censorship is precisely, that's the smallest scale of the fucking global problem that we have today that just seems to be getting larger and worse as time goes on. It was the streamer who was playing a team-based game and was raging at them. Do you plan on speedrunning any other games, says Tarantula? I may in future. I have interest in speedrunning some other games, interest in picking up some... You know, like, I watch so much SM64, and because I watch Cheese a lot, watches VODs all the time, that I'm kind of curious, I'm kind of interested to try learning SM64's randomizer, because God, do I not want to have to get so good at the game, or, you know, be fighting that uphill battle. Thank you, Brother OP. I'll be back with you in just a second. I don't want to fight that uphill battle of, like, trying to beat a 138 time in Mario 64 world record, or, you know, trying to be competitive on those leaderboards seems like, But randomizers seems like a really interesting, really fun way to play the game that gives you a lot of chance to learn a lot about, like, movement and about, the sort of generic things that are true about the game without having to necessarily be, you know, trained on every single, messed that one up, every single button press of every single maneuver and pull it off exactly the same way every single time. You know, I mean, I'm a friggin' RNG runner over here. I like Clustertruck noability percent. Sooner or later, someday, we gotta try any percent, because my noability percent time right now is in the top 20 of any percent. Yes! I managed, click the button, I managed to glitch it to force me in. I bounced off the level goal by riding up that popper. Oh, that was brilliant. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Yes, I will come back to that cheer just as soon as this run is dead and useless to me. It's dead and useless to me, screw it. 10 seconds behind and everything else. Hologram 1, rating with a party of 3. Party of 3! Put him in the back. You like a booth? Would you like a booth? Put him in the back corner booth there. Thank you, Hologram 1. And it was Brother OP. I don't have much, no job yet, but thanks for giving me a relaxed environment. I'm glad to hear you say that. I've been very stressed out. Trying to talk about these complicated issues. I'm glad that I have reduced your stress by raising my... No, thank you for the cheer, Brother OP. I'm surprised you have viewers at all, Later. Do you stream? Yes, she streams. All right, go. The 3 viewers are the bots that she programmed to watch, though. That's the... I'm just being a dick. I'm sorry. First time I played Sea of Thieves, which requires teamwork. I was helped out by others. They taught me how things work, carried me through semi-hard voyages, etc. such as Karakatur. So it depends on the game and the people, how they treat newbies. It's true. You get different sorts of communities and things, and that's all I was really bringing up over in the Midwest Speed Fest. You know, and kind of lamenting with people who I thought I'd started to make a connection with in chat over the course of 14 hours, 2 days, that kind of thing. That, you know, not everything is hunky-dory all the time in this world that we run in, and they decided that everything is hunky-dory, and you need to shut the fuck up! We're trying to do a thing here. Which isn't... You know, it's just an overreaction. It's not necessarily the wrong reaction, it's just the overreaction to a ridiculous degree. That's what I would say about that. I don't know why I keep playing League, it's so toxic and I usually end up frustrated. League of Legends? I don't know nothing about that. But I just assume, like, the more popular the game, the more toxic. And isn't that sad? That's kind of the expectation that we've developed around internet culture, is just like, well, if it's a bunch of people getting together, you know that ain't gonna go well. Even if they're all united around a certain thing, oh, that's gonna fall apart. And it's like... I think it has everything to do with that we have, like, different rules. Different rules for just engagement and social Oh! I had it all lined up, that was brilliant, and I got that little touch from the asshole on the left. You have some water. We have established and we have allowed different rules of interaction on the internet that are just nasty. They're just nasty and evil in the relative anonymity, you know? And you can't say that I haven't, you know, been, Christ, you go look up the things that I've said and done on the internet. Jesus, God, especially the younger that you find me. I can't say that I'm, you know, innocent of the crime of which I'm speaking about, but the fact that I know the crime of which I'm speaking about gives me some credence to speak about it. The fact that you're guilty of it and saying, yeah, it's a bad thing, man, tends to lend you a little bit more like, this person might know what they're talking about. But yeah, like the culture that we've fostered, it's just, like, it's okay to be awful. It's expected, it's anticipated, and it's come to the point where you expect and anticipate it so much that nobody can talk about anything that isn't just, you know, a fucking meme for a day kind of a deal, without somebody just banning you because they don't want to end up with what's going to come from a internet conversation about anything. And, you know, that is a result of us and our choices. We are responsible. And through our choices can change that. So let's take some fucking responsibility and do our part to change it. Yeah, that wasn't gonna make it, so I had to pull back for an 8.660 into 1-3. Go. Yep. Alright, everything's giving me slow routes right now, but I don't care as long as I'm alive. Apparently I can PB while juggling if I need to. That PB we just put in did not feel like that's the least PB I've ever, like, run before, just based on the feeling of it, you know? I was so in another place in my head throughout that whole thing that, you know, getting to World 9 and having to actually focus, I was like, how did we get here? Really? Is this what's going on? It's the weirdest PB I've ever felt. Which is really kind of cool, because it's like, I now feel like, damn, I actually am good enough at the game to PB when I'm not even expecting it. Which means if I'm trying, I'll probably mess everything up. If I'm really focused and try, I'll be over-focused. I'll start making the wrong decisions and wrong calls. Come on, nope, not a fan. Ooh, big fan, 11, 3 out of there, lovely. Considering. Thank you for the subscription, whomever that is. I am now actually playing the game. So I will thank you personally a bit later. Ronan Pawn, it's the weirdest PB I've ever felt. Just add that as a quote. I'm actually starting to figure out how I can speedrun and occasionally look over to chat and keep going, too. I mean, once you break your cherry, once it's popped, on having put in a PB while you were completely distracted, it's like, oh yeah, no, I don't need to look at the screen while I'm speedrunning. And they understand how so many other speedrunners seem to do that. Yeah, push his butt down. Nope, I was hoping for more of a kick. I wanted a launch to go on that one, but we got out with an 11-4. It's fine. 2-4 now. Hop. Look ahead. Where are you going next? Where are you going after you go where you're going? It's one of those levels where you really do want to be looking 2-3 jumps ahead of where you're going to go just to keep track of it. You, straight across, touchdown on this. Oh, brilliant. brilliant line of trucks for 12.5 out of there. 2.6 now to this side. Lean into the side of you. Pop right up here. We'll stop. And we'll go. We'll pull back and into goal. Ah, love the way this is going so far. 2.7. Off the side of you. To you. Off the top of you. Yeah. Just barely managed to turn that into something. Give me your nose up so that I can connect with these guys and get into the goal. Thank you. 2.8 now. When we get to 2.9, I gotta not mess it up. When we get to 2.8, I gotta not mess it up. I've been messing it up all day. That was just... I didn't steer. I kept left strafing, and I didn't make any attempt to actually steer myself in. Come on. Alright. 2.9. Simple method, just do it. Pop, pop. You've done it a million times. Don't know why you're messing it up so much lately. Right? Lots of speed. And then the boulder don't even matter. Don't even affect me. Alright, I'm just gonna have to stop and wait. I'm not gonna try and force a mega jump out of that. 2.10 now. Into the... You want to go into the tires for a little bit RNG. Okay, Manip. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is the hard, long way. Don't trust it. I'm gonna need you to turn back to the left. Oh, am I gonna need you to do something other than what you're doing right now? Okay. Can I get in? I can. Longest friggin' 210 without a death. What are you doing? I don't know. I've forgotten how to play the game. Okay, that's all you wanted out of 3-1. 3-2. Give me the mega jump. Nailed it. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Alright, back to you. I was about as close as you can get to having it without having it. 3-3. Little pop here. We got decent time. These splits have a nice distributed amount of deaths across them too, so we should have a better go of it. I need to start clicking the next level buttons better though. I'm missing like all of them. Usually means I need to reposition my hand. There we go. Let's get this first time, huh? First time every try. Yes! That pulls some time back. And then out of 3-6, there's the next level clicks we're looking for. 3-7. I'm gonna get up to you. Stop. Are we close? Yes! Got it. I managed to use Trixie's method first time. Beautiful. I mean, it's not necessarily Trixie's method. It's something super special. It's just the method that I picked up from Trixie. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and over. And over. Nice. Sub 12. 11-8. Lovely. Now 3-10. Just gotta get way out. Stay real low. Get lots of speed. Oh! Intentional. Meant to do it. That's every time. That's my method. Nice time through there, too. Alright, 4-2. Let's get her right. Short. Short. Long. Long. Short. Short. Out. That's fine. I will take that. 4-3 now. Hop. Just gonna go back and forth. Left to right, left to right. Ah! God, I'm working way harder for that than I need to. Okay, that's fine. Nice little 8-7 out of there without having to try too hard. Those straight-on truck levels, they always, you know, difficult. Oh, we're 20 seconds ahead? Lovely. Go! Out. 4-6 tried to kick me off. Let's get the method here. Nope. Not quite. Wow, almost screwed that up by doing something I really didn't need to. Oh, okay. We're gonna do the Luke Skywalker run, which is no mega pop, just go. Yes! Nice clear through 4-7, 4-8. Need a little bit of hesitation right up here now, and then there, to make sure that I come in with the right speed at the right time. in order to get through there without dragging my feet through a set of lasers. 4, 9, stop! 2, 3, 4. And go. 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 It's 12, no, reset it. Yeah, now that I started resetting that, I can get this. I can get this like every time. I'm gonna go now, and we're in for the 12-6. So I waste, you know, less than half a second on the reset. But then, you know, I get it. I put it in the way that I want to, which saves over a second, I believe, or at least a second. So it balances out. And if I'm really fast on the reset, I don't need to waste the time either. If I'm really fast on it. A nice 8-9 anyway, for now into 5-3. Ugh. Wow. My fingers actually kind of got tripped up on the keyboard there. Almost got myself killed for no reason. Oh, wow. Did you get low for that one? No. Okay. Into the goal, 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 into the goal. 5-5. We want a mega jump. We did not get a mega jump. We got something else that was mega. God damn it. Simple little turn into this guy. That's all you gotta do. There you go. Nice jump. Out to here. Fuck! Come on, this is it. I waste all my time on this bullshit level. Okay. Land you. That's not gonna work out well for me. No, you pulled away. Oh, god damn it. All that time save and just really bad, like everything on this level. I've already given up and we're still green. Fuck you! All the time save gone. Okay, that's not how we do that anymore, Pawn. I know! All that time save gone to one shitty level. That's Clustertruck noability percent for you. Hit! Damn it! I almost made something out of that, too. I almost made something out of it. Alright. Untilt. If there's a tilting you, detilt quickly. Because you're still on okay time. It's not epic time, but it's still okay time. That helps. 5-9. Go to here. I'm just gonna go back. Nice line of trucks. Lets me straight out of 5-9. Into 5-10. Nope. Not gonna let you do it. Okay, we're gonna be getting to the front trucks with good time here. Oh, but they popped just as I was approaching. Okay, give me another pop. Thank you. And we're into the goal with that one. 6-1. The level I fear. I'm gonna try for the conventional time save here. Ah! And that's why I hate it, and that's like a 25-second time loss. I won't accept it, we're done. I won't accept it, we're done. Let me do that again. Yep, missed that. Do that again and try and do what I was, you know, I just caught edge instead of, you know, I caught a toe off of like the last jump that I wanted. Set up here. We can actually go as early as this, I think. For a cleaner set of movement. Yeah. You just gotta get out and put it in. That's what I was going for, and that's what we lost it to. Ah, damn. Alright, so what did I miss in chat? It was Brother OP with the 200 bits. To be honest, I was saving up pocket money to go out with a homie, but he canceled, so have some more to be honest. You're underrated and you deserve it. Thank you, Brother OP. What do you mean underrated? Thank you so much. Tarantula, since you're a streamer, I've been thinking about starting to stream, but I'm an artist, and the art section is pretty dead, especially if you aren't drawing anime girls with big tits, like birds, you know, larger than average small birds, but they're large small birds. Do you have any advice for getting going streaming and stuff? Especially if you want to do art. I mean, the sound of that stream sounds great. Like, if you just had, like, a decent camera looking down on actual, like, I don't know if you do graphic design, like, more in the, in the PC or, on tablet or something like that, but if you're actually working on real, stuff, whatever you do, however you do it, I mean, it sounds great if, you've just got, like, it's a casual stream where you're doing what you're doing and you're just talking about whatever, why are you drawing this today? What grabbed your eye? The color palettes that you're choosing, that kind of the thing. That sounds like a really great chillax kind of a stream to do. So my only advice is that if you do decide to do something like that, do it genuinely and do it, do it how you want to do it. And, have a mind for that, it's entertainment, so care about your viewership, care about, putting on a good show kind of thing, but don't get lost in the world of, this is my advice to anybody who wants to get into anything, that even kind of glances alongside the entertainment business. Don't get lost in the bullshit of marketing and clickbait and advertisement and stuff. Like, you may have to do some clickbait. You may have to do some marketing. Don't get lost in it. Don't get lost to it. Do it while laughing if you have to do it. Don't... The advice that you get from, like, organizations like Patreon and Twitch and YouTube and stuff like that about how you can better engage your audience and whatnot. Like, if you're trying to manipulate people into watching you more, that's not the way to go. What you want to do is make your content better, and then people will want to watch you more. Don't, like, use psychological tricks and systems in order to try and grab people and hook them in and hold them there, which is all that the platforms really have to offer in terms of advice. And by the way, if you want to take advice from someone about how to make, like, good content, YouTube with their YouTube Red, oh, that worked out so good for them. When they produce content, oh, you really want to take their advice, huh? They know how. No, my advice is always generally can just be summed up in, be genuine and do what you're doing, and don't get lost to the reams of bullshit, And it gets more specific too, because if people do start to come around and say, oh my god, people are actually watching me, when you haven't watched before, you get really excited, and it's like you get a lot of frantic energy of, and you're just like, how can I keep them? And then you see some of them aren't tuning in anymore. I'm gonna lose them and stuff like that, and all of that is just death. Like, if you fall into the trap of it, then nobody's gonna want to watch you anymore, because, like, you're so desperate. Desperation. Please keep watching. I need you. You're validating my ego. No one was validating my ego before you came. I need it. Nobody wants to watch someone who needs their ego validated. So it's like this cycle that you can get trapped in. So just be genuine, do you, enjoy yourself, try and create something that is entertaining that other people are going to want to watch, and if they come, they come, and if they don't, you'll still be doing something that you wanted to do the way that you wanted to do it. And you'll be able to look back at that time and say, hey, I had a good time. That's my advice. It's one little trick makes speedrunners mad. Find out how these little dots caught cheaters. That's right. Sometimes you do go ahead and use some clickbait and use the knowledge. Just be laughing at yourself while you're doing it. Don't get lost to it. Don't chase your audience. Audiences don't want to be chased. They don't want to be psychologically manipulated. And if you can build an audience of people who don't realize that they're being psychologically manipulated, you will be very successful, and you'll also be a giant piece of shit. So don't do that. In fact, watch that Thomas Scott video that we were talking about so long ago. If I could, can we get a link to Jesus? Open the fucking game, Pawn. Can somebody, who knows the video I'm talking about, Tom Scott gave a conference, I think it was, there is no algorithm for truth, or is there an algorithm for truth, or something like that. Very clickbaity title, is there an algorithm for truth? You'll notice that about it, and then, like, that video, his talk that he gave on that, it covers so much that is absolutely real, that is teeming just under the surface of, like, the entertainment business as it exists in the post-YouTube, post-Twitch era of everything, and how there's a lot of really skanky, nasty, dirty things that, again, fall under the umbrella of, well, we just don't talk about them, do we? And so it's okay. And it's lovely to see someone talking about it, and also, like, making you question, because, a lot of what Tom talked about in that thing, like, is directly relevant to what I do here. And it's nice to hear an open conversation about the reality of the business from someone who understands it as well as I do from the inside, because they're in it, and they're literally posting clickbait as they're talking about things like manipulating audiences and stuff. They're using it because it's like, it's acknowledging that it's there, that it is useful, that it does, bring some audience in, but, if you're going to be using those methods, just please, for the love of God, have your first and foremost concern being making something worth people watching, like making good content, creating something that is, that has an educational value, if that's what you're doing, that brings the facts across fairly and with a concern for truth and reality and with sources, because he was talking mainly about science educators in the field of, entertainment and in the modern industry and stuff like that. A lot of it came back to that anyway. And, yeah, just make sure that, you may have to use some methods in order to get people to just notice that you exist, but the goal is to get people to notice you exist, and then, they get a chance to see what you're doing, and if they like it, now they know about it and they can spend time with you. A lot of people use these, same systems and metrics and fucking try and game algorithms and stuff, more with the idea of just, catching you. Like, tricking you in, like, getting you there, and then it's not so much about that I've got something to offer you, as it is just, I'm manipulating you. I mean, it's basically what McDonald's does with their menu, Oh God, McDonald's. So many people love McDonald's. They must make good food. They make food that appeals to the most base genetic instincts of the human beast, because it's full of fat and sugar and salt. Like, you can't put fat and sugar and salt together. You can. But, you're going to be successful with a menu that focuses on the fat, sugar, and salt content. And we're dead. I can't take that many fucking deaths on that one. And have a miss. So they're appealing to the basest instincts, just like many people appeal to the basest instincts on YouTube with their, with their thumbnails that just so happen to have certain pieces of the human physiology somewhat exposed, with their use of words that exaggerates. And the thing is, like, there are certain people who have such a great show that I tolerate it on. I mean, I've been watching on YouTube Biffa. Biffa Plays Indie Games, I think, is the actual name of the channel. It's a big, long name of the channel. But Biffa, I've been watching Biffa playing Cities Skylines because I've been enjoying the crap out of it. Watching him fix traffic and stuff. And, like, everything about his latest wave of programming that I came in on because it gamed the algorithm and the algorithm worked, is so frigging, like, clickbaity, manipulative kind of stuff. He's doing a series where he gets you to send in your cities and then he fixes your traffic, which is just, like, beautiful, engagement of an audience. Make sure that, there's gonna be one person who's whose city is going to be sent to you, you know, this week, or maybe 3, or however many you do in a week, but there's going to be just a few of them, but there's going to be a bunch of people, you know, participating and sending in and writing comments and stuff because you've got content that's based on viewer participation. Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. The algorithm loves that shit. And then his titles are, you know, of his videos are like super, oh my god, the worst traffic I've ever seen in city skylines. And it is, you know, this one trick saves all of the traffic in city skylines. So he found an audience, he found something that works for the algorithm, and he's playing it like hard and leaning into it. And the thing is, I don't mind it, because he's got content to back it up. I like watching what he does. He knows what he's doing. He has good, like, commentary, good attitude. It's just good to watch. God damn it. They punched me from behind. There was these trucks will eventually cross this gap, and I was there so long that they crossed the gap and actually hit me from behind while I was trying to make sure that I didn't die there. So, you know, clickbait is not in and of itself the ultimate evil. It's not a great thing. The more you look at it, too, the more you realize that clickbait is just everything. God damn it! If you want to, you know, if you haven't seen it on my YouTube channel, search for the 12 Days of Clickbait. I did a Christmas series where I clickbaited for the 12 days. And it's fun. It's funny. It's lighthearted. But in the process of doing that, I had to stare, like, not only clickbait in the face, but the means and methods of making clickbait. Like, you wake up in the morning, and you go to the Google page that tells you what's trending across the internet. And you see what's already trending or what's just about picking up right now, and you see, oh, some video about, like, the sharpest, hottest knife is trending right now. Okay? That's weird, but alright, I think I can get B-roll of a knife and, you know, just write some crap text to fill, and then I can publish one of those. Like, there are channels that, you know, the top 10 channels and shit, like, top 10 things, it's all just B-roll footage, you know? It's once upon a time they spent $100 in order to get a big ream of B-roll footage on planes taking off in cities and, you know, the lights going out, highway traffic moving, and then they just read fucking Wikipedia pages to you. Motherfucker. Fuck this one. They read the content of Wikipedia pages to you while they roll cheap B-roll footage, and they're making a killing off of it. Because the algorithm loves that shit. And people love, you know, clicking on things, the top 10 somethings that you never somethinged with the other. Oh, the things that you didn't know that you need to know about. And yeah, check out my 12 Days of Clickbait, because it was all, like, the whole exercise for me was waking up every day and trying to come up with, like, a new clickbait title and a new clickbait thumbnail, and then the content was secondary, because that was the whole point of the artistic project, was just as much clickbaity as I could. And I had some really good ideas to start with, and started with those. And then at a certain point I started run out of ideas, so I just started looking at what's trending on YouTube, looking at the big pages that were coming up, and basically just parodied them on some days. The most amazing thing, by the way, shit. I was almost dead, and then I got this little ghost kick that I shouldn't have gotten, and that was just more dead, but it made me feel like I wasn't dead for a second. The most amazing thing that came out of that experience of doing the clickbait project was, by the end of it, I understood clickbait so much that I predicted clickbait. I legitimately predicted clickbait. So, it was Christmas season, okay? And I saw that one big channel creator had put together this clickbait, and it was total fucking clickbait. This clickbait thing where they were doing, like, testing the premise of, you know, what would actually happen if we did the things that are in Home Alone. If we set up the same scenarios, same circumstances, and set up the same booby traps, what would be the actual results? And they had a big studio for it, clearly big budget, you know, giant producer, but it was a fucking clickbait thing. I saw that hit, and I saw it, like, start to go popular, and I knew that in 3 hours there would be like a dozen different Home Alone things, so I made a Home Alone clickbait that day, and it didn't go for me until the next day, because I was, you know, I wasn't actually trying to play the clickbait game, I was making fun of it. That video was for the day after, so mine waited. By the time mine went out, indeed, there were like 18 different Home Alone videos that had come out that were doing the exact same thing within like 14 hours of this one, you know, larger YouTuber who'd done this Home Alone thing. And it's like, yep, I had just learned how to predict it. Learned how to read the clickbait coming just by looking at the Google Analytics page, and I realized this is how they do it. This is how some people run their whole quote-unquote entertainment business. They get up in the morning, there you go, and they just look to see what's trending on the analytics, and they copy-paste some shit together in 3 hours and shove it out to YouTube in a hurry because, oh, it's already trending. You can say, well, Home Alone, it's the Christmas season and stuff. Of course there's gonna be stuff about Home Alone. And maybe that's true. That is really weird for me. Because Home Alone is like a 25-year-old movie now, and for like in 2016 or 2017 when I was doing this clickbait thing, for, you know, it to just go to let's talk about Home Alone at Christmas seems really weird. But I don't watch TV, so maybe, you know, Home Alone is just the stock and standard staple of Christmas television now, so every Christmas you're gonna have Home Alone as a thing, right? Is that what's going on? Because the ones that I'm familiar with back when I was watching TV was, you know, more It's a Wonderful Life, and I loved Miracle on 173rd Street. Miracle on 42nd Street? Is that what it is? 42? Jesus, twice in a row you're gonna do that to me? Fine. I shouldn't even keep running on this. Why are you still running? Because I'm sick of resetting. Oh, fair enough. But yeah, Miracle on... You know, I like any Christmas story wherein Santa Claus physically assaults a gentleman. That just sings Christmas to me. Really did like that one. I also did like, you know, It's a Wonderful Life, but it's grueling to get through. It's so long, and it's so depressing. Intended to be massively depressing. Another, you know, in one of the stories that I really like about Christmas, Santa Claus physically assaults like a dude who works for Macy's. And then in the other story, the whole premise of the film is that this guy is gonna commit suicide, and hey, Merry Christmas, don't worry, he doesn't do it at the end. Story about suicide. What? I have weird taste for my Christmas movies. Oh, good suicide Christmas story. Ah, everybody loved it. Hologram one with 25 months worth of subscriptions. God damn it, you're getting me killed. Shitty Christmas movies are far too plentiful these days. Yeah, you're getting me killed, alright. It's not me getting me killed by looking at your chat instead of looking at the game. It's you get me. Thank you for the subscription, Hologram one. But maybe that's, you know, maybe you could have predicted that there was going to be a bunch of Home Alone stuff, but it seemed really out of place for me. But I had been, you know, learning to read the braille of the Google engine, that I knew exactly what was about to happen, and I produced it, and you know what I did? This is why it's memorable, is because I nailed it down to like the exact fucking title of the video. Because I knew that the clickbait cycle was about to start, and I also knew that... What is it? What's the film one? Those of you who recall this story, what is it? The YouTube channel that... God damn it, it's not Red Letter Media. I don't think. No. The guys who always do the in 14 minutes or less. Everything wrong with in blank or less. Which is a total fucking clickbait title. It's a total fucking clickbait title. It's playing on all of the things, like that's mathematically formulated as clickbait. That is perfect clickbait right there. So I put out, having seen that somebody just did this big Home Alone thing and knowing that there was about to be a clickbait spike for Home Alone, I put out, I think hours before they actually put out the real one, I put out my fake clickbait, everything wrong with Home Alone in 4 minutes or less, or something like that. Cinema Sins, that's it. That's it. And yeah, Cinema Sins is, I really like, the best thing about CinemaSins to me is the content that's been made making fun of CinemaSins. I mean, I just haven't watched that much CinemaSins, outside of watching videos of people going, okay, so here's all of the places where CinemaSins is objectively wrong, and apparently doesn't know how stories are told, because they're, like, criticizing the point of the film. I saw one on, what was it, the remake of Blade Runner, where, like, one of their complaints for the film, one of their ding, was what, that, okay, so the world is, like, really futuristic and, like, completely full of poverty? Come on! It's like, okay, apparently you've never heard of the entire genre that this film is in before, but that's the point, asshole. The idea is that technology does not fix everything, that the problems of society are still, like, that's the whole genre. That's not a ding, we got you moment. That's a ding, I don't know how fucking film works, and I've never heard of... Alright, go for it. But that was a really great, there's so many, like, good videos just making fun of CinemaSins that's my favorite part about CinemaSins! Shit. But yeah, so I called that CinemaSins was going to make a Home Alone parody, because it was the optimal thing to do for the clickbait cycle. And they did. And I can't remember which of us got it out first, but it was within 24 hours of each other. It's like, yeah, you clickbait artists.